You said what? You said like, are you saying like feet in general don't smell?
No.
The smell that she smelled in my house, the smell of feet,
Oh.
is not coming from her.
Yeah, because I smell it like every time I go over there, and I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from.
Okay, I won't lie. I was actually genuinely confused. Also, you were definitely smart not to repeat yourself, because I definitely just started the stream right before that, because I was trying to get a clip of what you said, because I was like, wait, hold on, did she really just say, like, feet don't have a smell? Like, I need that to be said.
Feet don't smell.
Anyway.
Feet don't smell, let's talk about it.
Wow, with that, welcome to the AGaskins show. This is AGaskins, your host. I'm with today, Daveon. How are you doing, Daveon?
Sure, man. How about you?
I'm doing great, dude. You know, glad to finally have you. I'm glad to see you after, so long. It's been, like, I forget what we said. It was, like, at least, 2 months since we've seen each other last. Dude, it really has been that long. Because I thought about it specifically since, when I got back from my trip. We have been trying to see each other for 4 or 5 Sundays in a row now.
Because we didn't see each other because you did go on a trip.
Correct.
That I was out of town.
Yeah, you went on the trip right before me. You went on a trip right before me. You went to Georgia? Where did you go again?
Oh, because I didn't see you before I went to Georgia either. I went to Georgia first, and then I went to South Carolina.
Oh, okay, yeah,
so that's
right. You went 2 times. Yeah, so that's really why it's been a long time. Yeah, dude, but it's been nice, man. How did you enjoy those trips, like South Carolina and Georgia? How was it, like, being there for work? Like, did you get a lot of free time and anything like that?
I mean, like being in a hotel room was fine as far as Georgia went. We were only there for like 5 days or something like that. So it wasn't that bad. But Carolina felt like a drag.
Mm-hmm.
That was almost like 2 weeks, and I mean at a point, the only thing you're really doing is playing the game and sleeping.
That's fair. Did you bring your PS4 with you?
I did, but like I said, after a point, it just kind of got boring.
You were really just because you are in a place that you don't necessarily know, so you are just working and then coming to your quotations home, which is just this hotel room that has been given to you to stay at.
Well, not even that. For most of the trip, we had a company car, but I couldn't drive anywhere because I was on the list for people that couldn't drive company cars.
Oh dang, that's upsetting.
So
you really were stuck. You couldn't even go get McDonald's or go get
I had to order it.
Dang.
Had to order.
Did how many of you and your coworkers went to do this whole job? Was it like a whole squad of y'all?
It was me, 2 other guys, and our supervisor that went to South Carolina, and then Georgia was me, 1 other guy, and the owner of the company.
Nice. Okay. I mean, no, not nice. I mean, no, it was great. In case you're watching.
It was. I don't know. The Georgia trip was just. Boss was just stubborn. Boss was just stubborn. That's all it was. But
bosses are like that, though. I feel like any boss is susceptible to being a little stubborn.
I mean, but what do you tell a man who built the company?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I kind of get it, but
it's kind of the vibe that sometimes you just have to go with. But I mean, that is definitely some good shit that your boss did build his own company, and that, I mean, how many workers? Yeah, how many workers does he overall employ? Do you know?
Including the office people?
No. Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even think about it as also having office people that would probably take the calls and other things.
I want to say maybe roughly 20 to 22.
Dang, that's good though. No, that's good, especially for kind of a small because it would be a small business, a local business, and I mean 20 employees, that's a good amount of people to have on it. The fact that he can pay those amount of people too is.
It is, but what's crazy is it's. I don't want to go into too much of it because it's not in my business, but it's crazy that we have that many people, but we still need more.
Well, and yeah, I mean it's crazy in a good and a bad way because it's in a bad way because obviously like that slowly adds to like needing more money, and then it's like potential less hours for some of those people. But like on the bigger perspective, the fact that there is a need for more people means that business is growing. Like it's actually doing good. That there's they have so much work in line that they actually need more employees in order to meet the goal, like the minimum standard for them.
And they do have a lot of work, but it's also in the realm of like I don't know. At some points in time, it's almost like they're chewing off more than they can bite because we don't have the necessary people for it. But at the same time, like I said, I mean, the people that work there are good at what they do. They get the job done.
Nice. No, that's super good though.
So
yeah. No, I mean that's always good. I personally I definitely have always felt like an introvert, but I've also been like I feel like I'm an introvert at heart, but an extrovert by nature, and I feel like that's one thing that's why I love some jobs in like other professions and I guess in general like the workforce, because like not to say that like I love working because let's be honest, who actually likes to work? Of course, everyone would just like to just kind of relax and chill and just do whatever they like to do. But also in the same regard, it's like what I'm trying to say is I like the social setting of it. I like meeting the variety of people, and I like meeting different minds because it's definitely awesome to talk to people about what some of their opinions are and what their thoughts are. I did that, like, especially working in the kitchen for most of my life. Like, that's what I felt like was always cool because you meet people from every walk of life. Like, I can honestly say that I have met probably just about one of every type of person that I could imagine. And to be honest, like, it's crazy because...
Have you met a mercenary/assassin?
Mercenary/assassin. Ooh, wow. Well, technically, I did hire, like, I've hired, like, some ex-military people. So, like, I mean, that's not necessarily a mercenary or anything, but, like, like, they were, like, older. Like, they were alive during, like, when we were, like, in Iraq and stuff like that. So, it is very possible, like, they could have technically shot people, been kind of, to some other people's opinion, a mercenary.
But I mean, like, a freelance.
A freelance? No. No. Have I talked to people about this? Yeah. Do you know that you can Google how to be a mercenary? And that is definitely up there as, like, it's super easy. Like, the one of the first bullet points on, like, oh, what do you got to do? It literally says, like, join the police, the military, do taekwondo, do some form of, like, fighting, karate, something like that, as, like, your first entry step. And I'm like, wow, what a good way to start.
I met my first one at Sears.
Really? You actually met one at Sears?
Yes.
How many people have you actually?
It was a she.
I feel like, okay, let's ask the real question. All right, first real question. What's more dangerous, a female or a male mercenary?
A female.
That was going to be my choice as well, but I would like to hear your opinion.
I feel like females, just going off of relationship status, females have more ways than the FBI to figure out what's going on in a relationship. So just taking that based off of them dealing with one person that they care about, or just any one person that they like in general or dislike, what have you, and applying that to somebody who's doing greater damage to on a larger scale, I feel like you're throwing almost a nuke inside of a party, and it's like nobody knows how to navigate it because you can dress a let's go based off of like a James Bond situation.
Yeah.
You can dress any man up to play the part of James Bond, and people will always suspect that it's that person. It's
like they'll always suspect that it's like that, like Hitman, like that, like
it's that mysterious guy that's in the corner that always plays it cool.
I feel like especially like when especially when females talk about like how they feel in the presence of a man and stuff like that, like men that are like scarier or like have those type of things, like especially if they're like a mercenary or hitman, they would give off those types of vibes because like they have physically killed people and like they have that like look in their eyes because like I imagine that someone who's killed someone like definitely has like a like they're just different, like they're just not like they've experienced something that very few people actually
they give off a different vibe
of how they see the world in reality. Probably is like which would change their whole facial expression, their body language, and etc.
It would, but at the same time, I feel like those are things that you can somewhat hide. But I feel like men only have one angle at going of the disguise route per se, whereas females have a whole spectrum. They can go from playing the single lady that's wealthy at some fancy party. They can go to playing being someone's date. They can go to playing to be the clumsy secretary. They can go to playing to be a boss of a company and just kind of masking that over with it.
They could also just be like pretend to just be a stereotypical like regular everyday girl that you wouldn't imagine, like
that
like a random girl that you'd see in the background of like a coffee shop or like a library or something like that.
And even just that gives them, I don't know, it gives them more of a way to blend in and I guess take everything in, opposed to like if you go into a library and you see some random buff guy just staring at you,
that would terrify me.
Clearly, there's something wrong there,
bro. I would be terrified
because like
when I imagine a buff dude, I said this description to my girlfriend the other day. It was like whenever like guys are so muscular, like that they're literally like solid. Like it's like when you feel them, you're like, is that even skin, bro? Like, do you have metal under there? Like because they're just so dense. Like they're just so big, which is it gains. Like obviously gains, but that's what I imagine when I think of like a buff dude.
Yeah.
So that would terrify me.
But this is what I'm saying. Like you would feel like there was a fight that ensued.
Correct.
But if a female stares at whether it be a male or a female, it's like they can twist the outcome of what the stare means compared to where a man just kind of like, you can't, like, I can't go into a library and like try and do some type of flirty stare to another man, and they're just like, okay, that's normal.
I mean, we're getting to a time phase where you kind of could.
I mean, you could, depending on their preference.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
what I'm saying is,
depending on the person, like you might, like you definitely could potentially get away with that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a hit or miss thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a female, you do it to a guy, they're gonna think they're trying to hit on you. You do it to another female, they're gonna be like,
they're either gonna think like, oh, this is the girl just trying to be my friend, and or like if that female like does have like like experience with being other females, they might pick up on those signals as well. Yeah, so yeah, I can see what you're saying.
And this, I don't know. I feel like they have the range to just do it all.
Yeah, no, so, I feel that. No, that's. I agree. Like I said, I was going to say yes to that same question because I personally feel that same way. Like for me, it's all about it's because especially like thinking as a man, like a woman could easily play on all sexual natures of a man. No matter how powerful a man is, like every man probably has the basic desire of like sexual desires. And I mean that's natural. Every human on the earth probably has those same feelings. At least at some point, they feel something like that. And I feel like as a man, like you were saying, like a man can't really manipulate that type of desire with people because I feel like
They can't. I feel like they can't do it as well with.
Like
with
they can't do it as well. Like there's not enough sources. Like they might still be able to do it. Let's say it's like they only have 3. They only like you have amount of cards in your hand, and because we play cards, you know. So it's like in order to activate this combo, you have to have these 3 cards. It's like men can only use these 3 cards, but it's like girls. It's like, oh no, we just use this one card. It's and then that one card, it's like starts my combo.
It's the perfect, and I don't mean to jump in Yu-Gi-Oh with this, but like the perfect like
I brought up cards. The
perfect analogy with that would be like if you need if you play that's a bad day.
He's like, oh, I don't want
that one won't work. But like for women, it's like playing dinos. It's like you need one card, and there's like 12 different copies of it in your 40 card deck.
Yep.
Statistically speaking,
it's gonna give you a better chance.
You can get there.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and then that was a good first question. Now that question just like popped in my head because like you brought up mercenaries, and I was like, wow, I actually have never thought have I ever met like a mercenary type of person because. I don't know. I just had never thought of that, something like that.
But you want to know what the funny thing was? Is like she only worked there for, I want to say for that Christmas, or it wasn't Christmas. It was Black Friday. She worked there for that one Black Friday, like Thanksgiving week.
And that was it.
Never saw her again. Fast forward, I want to say about 3 years, and I see her in the law. And I'm like, hey, how have you been? Blah, blah, blah. And she looks puzzled, like that I remember her.
And she's like, I'm sorry, what?
And she like hesitates to speak. So I'm like,
you really asked like a random person?
I didn't ask her.
I thought you were. I was gonna be like, oh my god.
I did not.
Dude, you can't do that. Like,
I did not want to end up on Fox News. I did not want to end up on Fox News. But like, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, did you really do this? Like, should we not be talking?
It's like, should I have not said anything? Ooh.
But luckily, I didn't remember her name, so like, I couldn't say her name. So
no, because if you did that, she might have killed you. She might have been like, yo, you know too much. Like, she'd been like, how do you... Oh, unless, what if that was just one of her alias names? So, like, she would just been like, huh?
I'd have got that 5 poem of death. Just
that.
Fell out on the floor. Should have been like, I'm good, give me a hug. Local man has a heart attack.
Like, unknown causes. It's like, all that we saw was this interaction.
Let me slow the video down so you can see it. Still doesn't see anything.
It's like, it's like, if anyone has seen either of these 2 individuals, please. It's called.
Man, the government will scrub that shit so hard.
Maybe.
They probably said I died of a Kit Kat.
No, they would probably say you died trying to get a Kit Kat. Like your mom would be like talking on there for some reason, and she would like say like something about how you love Kit Kats as a kid.
I just don't understand how this happened. If you see the local black man was trying to steal a Kit Kat, and the lady stopped him.
It's like, what? What do you mean?
Talk about spinning the story.
I don't know why. It's because I've been watching a lot of the Great British Baking Show. And because you just said spinning, the episode I just watched, they like made a bunch of like spun caramel, and like I don't know. As a cook, I think caramel is so fascinating because like it's sugar. Like it's literally you apply heat to sugar, and then once it starts to like become like this like gooey substance, you like can add a little bit of butter and cream, and then fucking caramel. And it's like it's just chemistry. It's just basic chemistry and like science, but like I don't know why it's very fascinating and puzzling a little bit.
I'm about to say something so disheartening to you.
Oh damn.
But I do not like caramel by itself.
Oh, I don't like caramel that much either. I'm not a caramel.
Oh, okay. Well,
No. I think the physical act of like how we make caramel is crazy because like the original invention of caramel was used as an adhesive. Like, it wasn't for eating. Like, we made it to stick shit together. Which, like, it's just weird. And then, like, we eventually, like, turned an adhesive into something that but it was also from like one of the most basic. Because back in the day, there was like the 3 S's. I'm pretty sure it was like salt, sugar, and maybe it wasn't 3 S's.
I'm damn sure it was about 6 spice.
Oh, maybe actually, yeah, like spice, salt, and
Sugar, spice.
Sugar, spice. Yeah, sugar, spice, and everything nice.
That's crazy.
No, but in actuality, like, because sugar and salt were definitely like 2 of the main like mineral
Sodium?
commodities.
No, that's salt.
Yeah, salt.
Never
Like,
mind.
and because like especially like salt was a preservative, sugar, not only was sugar like obviously like a like it was like craved because like sugar is sweet, but I'm pretty sure sugar has some like properties that like help preserve things as well. Like I'm not 100%, but like because sugar, yeah, don't quote me, do not quote me. If anyone knows, tell me, let me know down below. Yeah, but I just think the overall act of caramel is nice and interesting. Personally, if I had to choose a flavor, that would be second real question. All right. So, if you had to choose between one of the main flavors, like obviously I already know you don't like caramel, but I'm still gonna say it. So it's like it's caramel, vanilla, mocha, hazelnut, and pumpkin spice. Because I feel like those are like the basic, like overall, like kind of like coffee-esque sugary flavors.
Is this in reference of coffee?
Maybe it should be because those are the only I like don't really know
anything else that has all those flavors.
Yeah. Well, actually no. I mean, like I guess like you can make like cakes and cookies that are like hazelnut and or mocha flavored because mocha is just like coffee and chocolate.
But drinking it and eating it are 2 different things.
That is true. Maybe this isn't the second official question. Yeah, I'm just throwing those 5 on the board. What's your opinion on those 5?
Coffee-wise, I don't drink coffee, but hazelnut smells the best. I don't drink coffee. It's disgusting.
That's good for you, though. I mean, like, that's one addiction you don't need.
Talk about it makes me shit like right away. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, you really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't. Let's be honest.
I don't work 10 hours shit my ass.
Just to, poop for, like, a solid hour and a half.
Top of that, where I'm pooping at.
Oh yeah, do you use a porta potty?
We're not going to mention where I work at or anything like that.
Yeah.
But where I poop at is unbelievably unsanitary. Like,
I'm sorry.
Like if I had to eat, if I had a choice whether I rather had to eat off of that toilet or off of like just the street, I would probably choose the street. Like I can't do it. I don't get it. There's a bunch of people that work there, yet nobody cleans them.
Wow. So it's just like everyone just kind of like skips that part of the duty. They're like,
Bro, the water in the toilet is clear, but the bowl is so dirty that it looks like a goldish brown.
Oh.
Like, I can't do it.
That's...
And every time you go in there, it just smells like shit. That don't make it any better.
No. Actually, but I can't say anything because I've been to plenty of festivals and...
But a festival's different. Festival's different.
That is true because it's not a place of work, and it like they're porta potties that are rented to be fucked up.
Exactly.
Honestly.
But on top of that, you have a whole technically day or two to fuck it up before they come and like clean it or anything like that. That's understandable. I can give you that because they give you the time to fuck it up in that amount of like time span. There are people that live here. Like, when we go there, there's people that live there, that stay.
Like that's their bathroom.
You use it on a daily basis.
Ooh.
But you always see people sweeping around there. If you got time to clean that bitch.
But I feel like there's also a difference between like anyone will sweep. Let me say that. Anyone will sweep the floor, but how many people will actually clean their toilet bowl?
There's not shit in the toilet though.
But that shit's brown.
It is, bro.
Like it's at a point that it's like it's past the no return point. So it's like there could be one person.
But look,
that could clean it.
But like you said, nobody likes it. Nobody likes to shit in those things. Nobody likes to shit in those type of toilets. But they do. But you
have to.
But you can clean it.
But they don't want to. This is like what I was talking about.
So
like,
whose fault is that? You can't get mad because the toilet is shitty, but you don't want to clean it. Then you're like, man.
Oh my god.
Why is this toilet like this? We live in horrible conditions.
Oh shit, dude. Oh, that's so funny. I know, but that's what I was trying to say. I was like, because it's like it's the point of no return. Because like, I feel like at some jobs, like I feel like you can do this more. But like you said, this is a living place. But some people are also disgusting of how they live. So like, there's a point of no return for cleaning something where
everybody.
Maybe everybody feels that they're like it's at this sense of like, no, I will not take responsibility. It must be. That's the only way.
And what kills me is it's not like one stall.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of there's at least like
oh my god,
there's at least like 12 of them in there. You're telling me y'all can't come together and clean just one? Just one.
Like
what?
No, apparently not.
And there's multiple of them. There's not just one central one. There's multiple of them throughout that place. You can't clean one of them.
All right, Daveon. Business idea, okay? A self-cleaning toilet, so you never have to actually get your hands dirty and go actually clean your toilet yourself.
It's dumb. Not what it would be.
That's part of the.
No.
He said no. Look, it's like a duvet. He says my audio needs a bit of a boost. Let's see.
Turn it up. Honestly, I think it would be better if we had those toilets that Japan has. The ones that like pew pew water in your ass.
Oh, a duvet? A duvet? No, a duvet is a cover. It's a bidet. Yes, correct. Hold on. Oh, wow. Yo, I'm actually having a brain fart. Let's see. How do I turn up my mic sensitivity right here? Let's see. Does that make it better? Alright, guys. Does that make it better?
Hey, yo.
Oh, that made it quieter. 1 second. Okay.
Opposite.
Okay, what about this? Does this make it better? Is this a little bit louder?
What you know about that butt duty?
Alright, I totally swapped it over to the main thing. I didn't actually, because I do have a mic that I can actually install, but since I am on my laptop like this, I just don't have enough USB ports on my actual laptop to fully connect everything, like between my like mouse and the actual camera that I'm using right now. But I plan to fix that eventually. That's in the near future. But the mic would help with the audio. But thank you, Gage, for letting me know that, because we're only like 28 minutes into this, so it's not. At least we haven't lost that much.
Hey, Gage. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Gage, you are so right. Gage literally just said, "Forget the mouse. You have a trackpad." Because I'm using my laptop. Oh, you're so right. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna set that up right now because we're literally in the middle. I mean, maybe I should. Fuck that. We won't do it right now, but we'll do that the next time. That's a good idea. Thanks for that.
Gage, I don't know if you remember or not, but that man Cedric still owes you $2.
I'm crying. He actually, one of the last times I saw Cedric, he did bring that up. He's like, yo, I still owe Gage that $2.
Yo, he told me about that the other night, and I was like, yo, like, man, if you don't pay this man this $2.
I mean, he'll pay him his $2, like, the next time he sees him, like, 7 years from now. Alright. Yeah, I mean, it really could be.
That's crazy. Cedric's.
Have you seen him
been working.
Working?
Yeah, I know he's trying to. I know he's trying to get his own place, and he he's got some things in the works. That's
good,
that's
man.
like
No, I mean, like that's all good though. Like, it's, you know, we all got things in the work. That's all that matters.
Some of us do. Some of us don't.
You know, I mean, Daveon, how are you, man? Like, what are you thinking of in your works that you want to talk about?
Right now I'm working. I'm doing the research on it and working on trying to start a business.
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
I'm hoping that it'll take off, and if so, it'll hopefully do something good for. I mean, hopefully the community around here, and
yeah,
if it goes bigger than that, then we'll see where it goes from there.
No, that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do know, because I think we have talked about that idea like quite a few times, like between both of us together. Yeah, but no, yeah, that I definitely I look forward to whenever you actually are, at a point to really like get it fully fully get all your gears rolling, and like you're kind of like representing yourself a little bit. That's gonna be awesome, dude.
Well, like I talked to my aunt about it tonight, and like I'm gonna try and get the licensing for it first, and then.
Yeah. Are you gonna try and do like Are you gonna try and have like a physical location of some sort for your establishment, or like do you plan to try and start off more like online and maybe eventually like get to a physical location like once you see some numbers or something?
Well, I'm hoping that like I can get an extra room from like in my next apartment, and kind of use that as like a office for right now, and then maybe somewhere down the line, if I get like I don't know, if I get like maybe 100+ customers, I can start trying to like hire people, get on and
to like actually help you with some of the work and other things like that.
And then
yeah.
like I say, if it gets to that point, and I can rent out a building or lease a building or something like that, then I'll work with that from there.
Yeah. Jekyll the Hyde just said, my guy Daveon, the biggest thing for you is marketing. If you can get your name around, you're 100% in, because at that point it's just retention of customer base. Also, don't forget to use your stuff for a tax. I was literally about to say that same thing. I was going to say, because there are things that I've actually seen where even if you're living in your own house, you can potentially get a deduction on like potentially whether it's like your rent, your mortgage, or whatever.
Oh yeah, the taxes. What it does is they actually take whatever room you're basing it out of, and they take however much of the percentage of the apartment or the house that it takes up.
Yeah.
And that's how much you can
deduct off of yourself
from like your rent and shit like that.
No, because that's what I was saying. Because like you were saying, like you want to use a space like as an office space,
yeah.
Which I feel like any professional, when you are trying to conduct yourself, I feel like you need a space that is your office space, and I feel like that space has to be separate from every other accord that you have. Like there needs to be some space that is the dedication of like where you try and conduct business, whatever type of business that is. And I feel like that's just like it's like a good like mental
standpoint.
Standpoint or like isolation of a thought, like to kind of like really keep that idea grounded and like be able to envelop on it. Because also when you have spaces like that where it's like that's only what you're doing there is work, like that provides like opportunities where as a professional you can be vulnerable to some people, but you wouldn't be as vulnerable as like being like your regular everyday self, and it's like it kind of provides you like that that area to be a professional in just this space and not necessarily have to feel like maybe some vulnerabilities or other things like outside of like the regular stuff. That's like what I like kind of think of it. It's like that. It is that space that can influence your creativity.
It's almost like that work zone for you as far as like school.
Or like as like your bedroom is like the place that you relax and like that's where you rest your head at night. Whatever.
Wherever you do that.
Like I said, because the bedroom is like the most generic place. Because like hopefully most people like do enjoy their bedrooms. They enjoy sleeping in their bed and or sleeping next to like whoever they like might be with, or maybe they enjoy sleeping alone or with their dog, their cat, their mouse, their bird, whatever they might be. Any of that stuff, Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely stuff that I've seen that. That's have you seen those TikToks that are like, what's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know? Knowing some of that stuff seems like that's illegal, but
on that note, this is for anybody. You can actually type in the county that you live in and type in the types of, I'm not saying the types, but like you can type in liens and search like what people owe as far as like liens in your county or whatever like that. You can pay off whatever other people have to pay off. So like if they owe X amount of money on their car and you pay it off, you can pay that off, and if they don't pay you back within a certain amount of days, whatever you paid off on, you now legally own.
wait, oh, like it's like how like collection agencies and other stuff like that, where it's like there's people who are like actively looking to help collect debt, and it's like if you don't finish paying the debt, then it's like whoever paid the money for it, then you being X person that then paid for that money now takes it.
Exactly.
Dude, that is kind of wild, honestly.
That's how you make a flip, though. I mean,
bro, could you imagine, like, yo, the person who's like the bank I don't know why I just thought of this, but do you remember the movie Arthur, where like he like got shrunk down into like that really small dude? It was like with the other world. Legal theft, basically. Yeah, it is.
Technically, it's not theft. It's just it's repossession. That's all it is.
Except instead of it being like the bank, you just happen to be the middleman of the bank, because like the bank is like kind of taking it from them and then directly throwing it to you.
Well, technically, it's of the state, because the state's posting it, and they're like, well, if you pay this off and they don't get it back to you, then it's yours.
Dude, could you imagine someone with like some serious debt? Like imagine like they bought a Hellcat or something, and like,
bro, them niggas be pissed.
Dude,
I'd be mad for them. I'd be like, damn, bro, sorry.
Be like, as you're doing a donut, damn, that's crazy. I can't believe that happened.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I probably wouldn't keep the car.
Oh yeah, especially some. I mean, yeah, especially a Hellcat. Like, I don't even actually know what a Hellcat is. I've just seen it on like Instagram.
It's an expensive, fast ass car that has, I want to say,
is it like
butterfly suicide doors?
So like,
I'm trying to get from A to B.
Like, who made it though? Like, was it like some random ass car company, or was it like?
It's probably a well-known.
Like, was it Dodge? Is it basically like a Charger? That's what I'm wondering. Googling it.
Let's go.
Let's see. What is a Hellcat?
This shit says a Hell Kitty. Oh, it's a Charger. They have Chargers, minivans.
Oh, so it's a type of Dodge.
Oh, it's a Dodge? Oh, that's crazy.
That's what a Charger is.
That's crazy.
A 2021 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Yes, this looks exactly like a Charger. Here we go. Wait. Oh god, it's too bright. Yeah, it's not going to get that, but it looks exactly like a Charger. Yeah, personally, I won't lie to you, those are like some of my least favorite cars. I'm not even a really big car guy in general. I just don't like them like that. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I'm looking for.
You know what I do want to do? When I get the money, I do want to rebuild Speed Racer's car, but like with all the gadgets.
Honestly, eventually, like, electric cars might be the start of it, but it's like we could eventually hit like that exponential technology where like our cars really are like just out of this world.
Bro, I'm trying to do it.
You just want to flip your car over someone else's car. Like, you literally just want to be racing side by side, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
bro, I don't even want to be racing. I just want to know I have the option to get away.
Like, you're about to get like crushed by a semi truck, and you're just like, yeet.
Like, I don't even need to do anything crazy. It's just the option to get away. Ridiculous.
Wow. Jekyll the Hyde also just said GM showed a concept for a flying caddy at CES 21.
Oh, I don't want no fucking flying car, bro.
I want you to know, because like I told you about like that MIT mortality test, and what the mortality test was using all the question biases off of was like basically in like most electric cars and stuff like that, and most cars now are starting to have this AI technology, and like it was basically putting up the morality of if you're faced with two ultimate negatives, like like there's an old woman driving in a car and like a young woman in the street, and like it's like she's either gonna hit the young woman or she can swerve and hit another old woman. Like what? Yeah, and that's exactly like what the whole test is. It's like I don't know how many questions, but it's very interesting. I kind of want to do it on my own time. Yeah, he said, "Rip the old lady, bye."
I mean, like, look, you know how I feel about that though. To be 100% honest with you, and this might sound fucked up, I feel the same way about that situation that I do about Betty White.
What?
She has had almost 100 good years on this earth. She is 99 and can still walk and move and do things that some young people can't even do. Bro, I can't say that I want her to die,
Big facts.
but I'm not gonna be mad if she rolls over.
Yeah,
like, bro.
No, it's one of those things like, and like that's why it's a mortality test, like because that's what it is. It's testing like the mortality of it, and it's all obviously like not 100% bad, but it is like it's like in your opinion, what do you think is the better of two negatives? Like it's the ultimatum. Like you have to choose one of the two bads. Like which one do you think is the least of the bad?
But on top of that, I feel like the question is a surface question.
Yeah. No, most of the questions, like when I was watching it, it was like all kind of surface questions because some of them were weird, like because they would propose like similar scenarios, like one like the very like one of the first ones was like it's like one female to one female, and then it was like a female to a male, and then it was like like five people here and like five people here, but like maybe two of the people are animals, and like one is a kid and one is an old person, one's a young person, while the other one has like a bunch of young people, and it's like who do you think like it's like which one, and like they're trying to like propose it. It seemed like it got more complex as it went down, but it almost kind of felt honestly like when I was seeing the questions, it almost really felt kind of sexist. Like it felt like it was really trying to push like which one do you want to live, the male or the female? Because it was almost always like the opposite genders driving in the car. There was like one question I saw where it was like specifically like the same genders in both. Most of the time, it was usually like like female in one side of the scenario and a male in another side of the scenario, and it was like
Fuck, it kills males. Females never do shit.
No, the video that I was watching, the people were saying like it's because of like they say statistically men live less time than like females, right?
I mean,
and then I thought about this, and I was like, what if it like? And then they picked like obviously like to let the female live because like obviously the male would probably like just like die earlier anyway. And I'm like, well, what if this is exactly it? It's like because we think of this statistic, maybe it's not actually true. And what if it is true? And like guys just do more reckless stuff because like they're just like, oh well, shit, like I'm gonna die sooner anyway. Like so, fuck it. So they do more reckless things, and like that's really just the difference is like that they do a little bit more reckless stuff, so they have a higher percentage chance to actually get hurt and injured and or die. Whereas in comparison, maybe like if they had just been more at home and more relaxed, they wouldn't.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on who you're with, because a male by itself won't. I feel like he won't do more dumb shit than any gender that's around a bunch of their friends. You get around people, you get peer pressure, you feel like you're a cool kid on campus, and you doing this dumb shit won't result in something bad.
And it does end up resulting in something bad.
You wake up in heaven with God.
Yeah. Facts. Or you wake up fucking with some random ass angel as like you're like, hey dude, you fucking died, but like you're not dead yet, so like, you gotta finish some shit on Earth, and you're like, what? This is not what I signed up for.
You come back Pet Cemetery style. It's a whole bunch of other problems.
That's it. And that's the third question. Third question. Yeah, this is the third question.
I got a question.
Oh, you got a question. Perfect. First question for me.
So, don't need your input. So, who who do you think has more bangers? Miley Cyrus or Ariana Grande?
All right. I want you to know you asked me this question. I told you my opinion before.
Okay, well, we're coming back to this last
I'm going to say it. I will say my opinion, I think, is the unpopular opinion. Miley Cyrus. I think Miley Cyrus has way more bangers than it. Do I think? Who do I think is maybe more popular? Ariana Grande. I think Ariana Grande. I said this to someone else. I said that I believe Ariana Grande has a similar effect that Drake does. Granted, they both were people who they built themselves up in their music. They created themselves as a famous individual, and that's obviously to be respected. But I feel like there is a level of fame where it's you're just so famous that it's if you don't like them, it's what are you doing? How do you not like Ariana Grande? Have you not heard Seven Rings? Her voice is immaculate, which it is. I'm not disputing that any of that because I love Ariana Grande too. I like Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande, so it's not like I hate either one, but it's that I think Ariana Grande just is a more famous she's just more famous and she was able to get that, but it's also because she started younger. Not started younger, but she's younger than Miley Cyrus, so it's she's more closer to the current younger age kids. So it's we had Miley Cyrus when we were teenagers. She was on Hannah Montana, and she was technically and she was and that was technically the start of her music career was her being on Hannah Montana, which created some of the first bangers that we got. So for us, we've had her for 20 years plus, or 15 years plus. Really.
We've had her for a hot minute.
Yeah, we've had her for a hot minute. Whereas Ariana Grande, when did Victorious come out? And even in Victorious, she wasn't even she wasn't even a singer in Victorious. I don't believe
she did.
She did sing in there. Okay, I didn't watch it too well, but so that's why I wasn't 100% sure. But so it's it's been 06 and also I don't actually know about Ariana Grande's parents or her other things, but obviously Miley Cyrus's dad is Billy Ray Cyrus. He's a famous country singer. So she was molded around.
This shit don't make any sense. Victorious came out in 2010.
In 2010? I'm sorry, what?
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I'm old. I feel old now.
I feel...
What?
This made me feel younger.
2010?
This made me feel way younger.
I mean, maybe that makes more sense. When did Hannah Montana come out?
Hannah Montana came out in 06.
Okay.
So you
you
were right, though. 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. All right, well, that's good.
That's crazy.
But also, though, their time difference is only 4 years. But when you still think about it, 4 years, that's an entire... That's your high school career. That's your... that's your entire high school... That's a whole graduating class. Because when you're a freshman... because if you're a freshman and you go through your 4 years, you graduate, and then the next group of freshmen, they have no idea who you are.
Yeah,
you're not even a senior.
This is 28.
Yeah, and then Hannah Montana should be 30...
Is she really married?
32. Wait, I feel Ariana Grande did get married. I feel I saw something about that.
No, Miley Cyrus was married to Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, no, they got divorced. Yeah, they got a divorce a while back.
They got it last year.
Yeah, no, but they've been separated.
But that's still wild though.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They've been. I found that out when I was doing some thoughts about Thor and Marvel stuff, and I realized that Liam Hemsworth was Chris Hemsworth's brother, and I just didn't even. I'm just dumb. And oh, yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Ariana Grande is young, so in retrospect of time.
Well, she's not that much younger than me.
Yeah.
Well, I got 3 months on her. That's it. That's what I'm saying. I only got 3 months on her. That's not that bad.
No, that isn't that bad. But I still feel it is that thing where and because also Ariana Grande only does one spectrum of music, whereas Hannah Montana, she's done at least 3 spectrums of music now. She started off basically doing kind of country-esque music, kids rock music, and then she kind of
Hannah Montana shit was more.
That's why
more pop.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to call it kids rock because it's obviously it was for a kids show, but
it was the pop of our time.
Yeah, it was the pop of our time, but that's different from the pop now because she does sing pop songs now, but she actually now is doing she I don't know if you heard one of her newest songs, but she does a classical rock version of some old famous song.
But see that fits her more.
Yeah, and And like she was also like in like because Wrecking Ball and a few of those other songs.
Wrecking Ball slaps.
Yeah, and like that's a banger right there. Like Hannah Montana has more songs in general that I feel like you could say like those are bangers.
She made Party in the USA.
Exactly, and like Ariana Grande does like she has some really popular songs out of her like albums, but I just feel like, and maybe I'm just biased, like I said, because like I feel like we've known her for longer.
Ariana Grande doesn't have any bangers.
She literally has 7 rings. 7 rings. That's the main one.
7 rings of shame.
That's just because he doesn't listen to her.
No, well,
I don't listen to either one of them.
The one though, I will say though, I won't lie, I didn't listen to Mac Miller, but like I think that like their music together was like beautiful, and I thought their relationship in general was beautiful because like I just thought it was beautiful, and like it is a very much of a tragedy that like that their love is not a thing, and like it's like not related to anything about this question. It's just like a total separate thought. Like,
it's
like I didn't listen to Mac Miller, but like honestly, their whole love story, like that's some real tragedy type shit. Like that's actually you would read that in a fucking book. Like you would read about some tragic love story like that in a fucking book.
But you want to know the sad thing about that is one side still has a happy ending.
Whose side is it? Is it Ariana's or is it Mac's? We chose her about that. What if Mac was able to dodge a whole lifetime of actual suffering? Because now he doesn't have to experience anything of like the words of physicality, and he can just be one with the universe, you know.
And that's fine and all, but at the same time, you left people that you loved in pain. Like,
well, I mean, it's not like he. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily directly his fault. He was like obviously like a drug user, and like he did use like hard drugs and mix those drugs. But like what people say is like the main thing that killed him was like fentanyl, and that like goes to the big opioid epidemic that we have like throughout like all of the world. Like is that people are cutting hard drugs to make money with this really harsh chemical.
But what I'm saying is I get that he used them to escape the harsh realities of life, but at the same time, had he and like I said, I don't know his whole thing. I don't know if he did have a good support group, but I feel like if he had a great support group, he at least would not have gone in his house alone.
Yeah, that is also true. But then also that comes to like one of the like greater moral things, like where people say like you kind of have to just enjoy life like to its fullest, because you don't ever know when or where your last day and last moments might be. Because like of course like maybe he did, like maybe he had all these people and like he had a support group, but the thing was it's just that wasn't his time to go. His time to go was when he was by himself and when he was alone, and like maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. Like obviously we don't know because we don't know the grand spectrum of reality, but or what the plan is for any individual person.
I don't know, sometimes I hear about these celebrity deaths, and I think some of them got set up.
Oh no, I'm like I'm willing to dabble in some what ifs, because especially if the what ifs like are actually like if there's some context to them where I could see it.
Let's jump into a what if.
All right, while you're looking that up, I actually have to use the restroom because I gotta pee, so I'll be right back. Hold that thought.
I got you.
She ain't got no babies.
Sure it is. Not one damn banger.
Absolutely atrocious.
Not one. Not a single banger.
I'm gonna let you live in that big world that you live in.
The only bangers she got are any of them inspired by or that feature Mac Miller.
That's eons ago.
Her last banger was eons ago. All right.
Lay it down.
The first person on the list.
We got.
First person on the list. Anton Yelchin. He's a guy from Star Trek. He died while checking his mail. They say that he parked his. I'm guessing the way it was is his gate was at the top of the hill, and then down the hill was his mailbox. He went to check the mailbox. He left his Jeep or whatever, his car, at the top of the hill, and it rolled down on him and killed him.
What?
They said he did not put the car in park.
That's one of those. See,
So how do you get up?
that is one of those, like, that could be, like, you could easily be like, if there was good reason to maybe think of, like, why someone would, like, you know, need to kill him, like, that's, like, an easy, like, oh, like, you would see that on, like she was saying, like, the true crime shows. It's like, the murderer, like, snips the brake or something like that late at night, and then, like, they're just waiting in the bush, and the second they can go there, they're just like, ah!
But this is my thing. You want me to believe that somebody who lives in this house, who goes up this hill every time, this one time they forgot to put their car in park, and it ran them over while they were checking the mail.
It's like they didn't hear their car, like, rolling down or anything, you know, they didn't have the time to react, or...
Well, not even that, but let's be realistic. Let's think about it. Your mailbox is usually off to the side. It's not in the middle of the fucking street.
Yeah, it's also like, you know, because usually for your driveway, it's on the left side of your driveway.
So if you went up the hill, the bitch would roll down like
pretty straight.
It would either
actually.
I know what you're about to say.
Yep.
It either would roll down completely straight, or it would swerve and tumble before you even got to that.
Because also, like, that's why people have to get alignments, because I don't know, like, you know, when you're driving your car, like your car tires start to get unaligned.
Like
exactly, you start leaning to the right, and in order to go straight, you got to be like holding the wheel, like.
That shit be happening.
But that shit's real though. No, that's one of those. I mean, that's sus. Like, you know, there's a lot of random things that I feel like could be potentially low key sus, but like are just played off as like just regular everyday environmental things. Because I mean, in reality, there are a lot of accidents that happen.
That's a one should think.
Yeah, that is also true. Jekyll said another one on the last thing. He said, "Living life to the fullest doesn't necessarily mean enjoy, or it doesn't mean always enjoying it. It means to let life happen and experience it as it comes, accepting all that life has to bring as just another journey. Balance in all things is paramount to very true peace and happiness." Obviously, yes, that is actually obviously good. That is very true, because I kind of forget the exact quote, but there is a quote from some author, and it's like, what is a land like? What is a land like cast with rays of sun, but just a desert, or something like that. Like, and it's basically saying like, what is a bright and sunny, warm day every single day if there's no water, if there's no rainy days, if there's no the other side of it. It's like you would just end up with a desert. That's what happens. That's what happens to deserts. Is that there's no rainfall. It's just sun, and then night, and then sun, and then night, and then plants die, things get barren, and stuff slowly dies away. And I can feel that. That's where like the balance is there, and it's like
so could the same thing be said about world peace and war? Because can you really have a utopia forever?
That is also true. Well, that's one of what I think is like one of the things about like utopias of why it almost seems like impossible. It's because sometimes it's hard to. Emotions are really the thing that makes utopias hard. Is because the reason why we get into war is like someone gets hurt and someone feels like they have been betrayed by someone else, and like our reaction to that is violence, and that we need to do something about it.
I feel like the reason utopias don't work is because you want everything to stay in this time of peace, in this time of stalemate, and you're expecting everybody to conform to the same rules and keep the peace.
But yet, like, because that's also one thing is like, in reality, like, we are definitely like so far away from anything that could ever be a utopia. Because in reality, like, we as humans, like, one of the things that I think a positive human trait that we strive for is like diversity and creativity. Like, diversity and creativity, I feel like, are big human traits that have, like, quote, guided big revelation of movements, like, throughout our society. Like, and I feel like you can't have a utopia with stuff like that because everyone thinks differently. No one is going to exactly think the same way, or at least be willing to come down to the same level just because, like, everyone does think differently. Yeah, I feel like you would need a hive mind type of something to make everyone be on the same page, or something so traumatic that every single person, and the world is huge, so like it would have to be traumatic on a global scale for every single person to be like.
The only thing that would do that though is something that nature would cause, or something that's not from this world.
Yeah.
It.
But even nowadays, though, like if something from another world like actually came out, like it wouldn't even cause like enough traumatic stuff. Like,
well, what I'm saying is if we like tomorrow we woke up and there's an alien ship in the sky and
like it's Independence Day.
It kills. I'm not going to say Independence Day, but it kills the leaders from every continent. Kills a leader from every continent on the hour. What choice do we have to come together? Like
no, and that is it. But that's the thing, and that would ultimately be like, especially like because if you think about say like any war strategy game or something like that is like. Or any like movie concept where they talk about like tactics of militaries and war. Like sometimes that's the thing. It's like depleting people of like the basic things that kind of keep them in order. Like
it puts them in like survival mode.
Yeah, in like stressful situations, they make like start like halting out battles for long periods of time to like deplete them of food, getting rid of like those resupplements. So that way it's like the people they're weak. They're hungry. They start getting at each other because they're hungry. Because that's really the ultimate thing. Like when we don't have the basic survivability tools to make us like just go through the day regularly and know we're gonna live. That's when people start ready to fucking kill each other because they're like, "Yo, how am I gonna eat? You're eating? Give me that. No, you said the wrong thing today, buddy." And then
wait till you go to sleep.
Yeah, wait till you go to sleep.
Hey, some people might do that shit.
Because like you were talking about like that cannibalism thing earlier, and I had like.
Who was?
That was me.
Oh, it was you. Okay, sorry, wrong person. But anyway, like I had thought about this because like they say like people like eating themselves like it like fucks with us and like it makes you go crazy and other things like that. And I thought about it, and what if one of the reasons why we go crazy, but like the reason why we can eat like pigs or cows or any of those other things is like imagine what we actually eat because like we feed pigs and cows and stuff like that some leftovers and stuff like that, so they are definitely getting some of those like biotoxins that we definitely like. And when I talk about those, I talk about the things that like have really been fucking us up for like years, and we're just now getting on to the point of where we're like, oh, maybe we should not do that and actually like feed people like regular food, wholesome food, stuff that's legitimate, not a chemical. I wonder if like that's how toxic our body is, and like we eat that toxicity, and like that's what it does to us. It literally fucks us up because we are that vile. Like we're literally like we're like disgusting pieces of meat. Like imagine if you like I don't know like.
Is that why people are toxic?
Maybe like that's like
crazy.
Like that's what I've kind of like pondered on that thought. Like what if like that's actually kind of why, like what if that's like kind of why people are like mean and nasty, and why people say like you hold like angers or frustrations in your body and stuff. Because like people say the same thing about like animals, like animals that like come from like really like factories where like they're not treated well, where they're like beat and like they're scared and stuff. Like they, people say like meat isn't as good, like it's not like a natural death, so it's like the body's like tense and like it hurts all that shit.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They might be right on that account because I had cooked beef and that shit tastes completely different.
Oh, dude. Yeah. You ever had bison before?
So
yeah, it's pretty good.
Dude, yeah, no, I actually had my very first bison steak when I went to Alexandria. Like this, like it was like this little like place that was out there that was like it's specifically like specialized in like and all grass fed. They made everything from scratch. It was so good, honestly. Like, and I feel like I finally understood what the term gamey meat. Like I've never really understood that.
You never had deer or like what's it called?
I mean, I've
venison.
Yeah, like venison or veal or like I feel like I've had deer jerky like once maybe in my life or something, but I'm not really like 100% sure, to be honest. Like, and if I did, I definitely don't remember eating it. No, never had. Actually, Gage actually, when we went to Gatlinburg, there was this jerky shop, and he got like this box that was a big variety box of a whole bunch of different meat, and there might have actually been kangaroo. Jekyll, do you remember?
There's a place down at the ocean front, and I want to say every week or every month they have a different type of like exotic meat that they serve as a burger, and kangaroo's one of them. Kangaroo, I want to say bison might be one of them. It's pretty good though.
Wow. He said, okay, so Jekyll said that yes, in that box he did have kangaroo, and there was also ostrich in there. I don't remember if
ostrich.
I don't really remember if I ate any of those from him, but I mean it's very possible I could have.
I feel like if you eat an ostrich, you get superpowers. They're just animals I would never think.
Dude, they're just like, you know how
imagine trying to kill one.
You know how like people say like, oh, like I'm scared of birds, like, and they're scared of like a fucking hummingbird or like those.
Who the fuck's scared of a hummingbird?
Like not a hummingbird. That was a wrong decision, but I can't, like, you know, a regular
like a parrot or something.
Yeah,
like
or like a house bird or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm not scared of those birds. I'm scared of that type of a bird. That bird is terrifying.
The only reason I'm not scared of it is because if I've run into an ostrich at any point in my life, I've clearly fucked up.
A cassowary? What in the hell is a cassowary?
Cassowary is way fucking scary than an ostrich. What is a cassowary?
Kind of looks like a turkey and an ostrich put together.
Yeah, that shit probably is scary. It looked like it ran around with Fred Flintstone.
It says the cassowary genus Cassarius is a...
Cassarius?
I think so. How do you say that?
No, you're right. I'm just saying that shit just sounds...
Is a ratty... Wait, A-R-A... Oh, that might be a location. R-A-T-I-T-E.
Rat-type.
A rat type that is native to the tropical forests of New Guinea, East New Guinea, or East Nusa Tenggara, the Molucca Islands in northeastern Australia.
Oh, it's in Australia. That's why it's so scary.
It also says there's 3 extinct species. Oh, first thing says, why are they so dangerous? So, what exactly is a cassowary? They're like cousins to emus. They're large, flightless birds with bristles.
They can fucking swim and like to sit in water and fucking
drown people.
And also they fucking cut you and run fast as fuck.
So they're roadrunners? That's basically what you're telling me? They're roadrunners?
No, nigga. That shit says they can drown people. That's a whole person. Like this shit's an animorph, is what he's saying. I'm not dealing with that shit. You are right. That is way scarier. They can run.
Oh my god, this thing says up. It says they are the only birds known to definitely, all capitals on definitely, kill humans.
Oh, see,
serious injury results from cassowary attacks, most likely to occur if the person is crouching or lying or has fallen on the ground.
Oh.
Yo.
So shoot him.
Dude, what?
That's what that sentence said, shoot him. I'm not fucking with that shit.
It says, alright, so if you ever encounter a southern cassowary, back away slowly and put something like a tree or a backpack between yourself.
A tree?
It said put something like a tree or a backpack. Like, what?
Plant a whole new tree here. Hope it grows fast as fuck. And leave. Nah, I'm shooting it. I don't condone just randomly shooting animals, but this thing is a raptor.
There's a number to call if you see one.
What do you mean a number?
Like for locals to let, like it says report to a southern cassowary sighting at call 1-300-130-372.
I'm not calling nobody. I'm calling the Justice League. Stomp this nigga out. AKA wear body armor if you want to
at least survive. Correct.
See? Shoot him. I'm not.
Look.
Nah, fuck that.
That's scary. That is terrifying. I didn't even know this bird existed at all until right now.
I didn't want to know it existed.
I think we don't live in. One of my old friends moved to Australia, and that's great for them, but also there's a lot of dangerous and scary shit there.
They're fucking stupid.
Dude, there's just too many spiders there. I can't with this.
It's not even that. Everything on that island can kill you. I don't have time for that. Like, at least we have things in America that can kill you, but like some are here, some are there, some are over here. They're spread out. Australia, everything's just every fucking where. You wake up, there's a snake in your oven. You wake up, there's a snake in your toilet. You go outside, there's one of these things running around. You know, you go to get a drink from the bar, there's a kangaroo that punches you. You know, there's too many things happening before noon.
Dude, the fact that kangaroos actually legitimate fight each other
I never in my life get in front of that. I would leave.
No, but kangaroos as species they fight male kangaroos fight each other same way deer butt antlers.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying if deer butt antlers and they see you, they leave.
Oh yeah, no kangaroo.
I'm pretty sure kangaroos don't approach you, but what I'm saying is if you try and get that's what I'm saying. If you try and get in front of that, you're probably losing some body part, something.
He said or fucking parts overrun by spider webs and shit. It's literally in-game content for max level people, basically.
So no, kangaroos will
No, I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of videos lately where people it's people being like, "Oh, hey, look, it's a kangaroo," and the kangaroo's sitting there, and it's BOP! Right to the face.
That's a sad thing. You can't even run from that bitch because they usually kick in your back.
Dude, they hop so fast. I don't remember it.
I'll pass.
How fast can a king? 43 miles per hour.
I'm shooting right in his kneecap.
They go as fast as the car.
I'm shooting in his kneecap. I got time for this. Hop down. I don't know. Everybody's for saving animals and shit like that until they get into that situation.
How tall are kangaroos?
We're too fucking tall. 6'8" on a good day. Money.
3 to 8 feet.
3 to 8 feet?
Dude, this is also the thing. I'm looking at these.
Strong.
I'm looking at these pictures right now, and do you see this, bro? They just got this fucking chest on them.
That's what I'm saying.
They're just
I didn't come here to box.
They're literally the fuck's up, bro? Trying to get fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't come here to box. I came here to see you just naturally and leave. I didn't come here for this hostility. They woke up and chose to be violent.
They woke up and chose violence without a doubt.
They said violence is in my blood. Fuck that. Why do you think they made Kangaroo Jack? They're nature's boxers, dude. So, yeah, I ain't got time for that. I know I said I want to take some boxing classes. That's not what I meant.
Yeah,
at all.
Correct. I would also love to take boxing classes, but
that's the opposite of what I wanted.
Unless that kangaroo can teach you how to box. What if it was one of the alright, what if it was one of those things instead of it being wolves taking the child from a young age, it's they taking it's like Tarzan, but instead of it being gorillas, it's kangaroos and you just learn how to fuck people up and hop around and you're just diesel shit. But you think you're a kangaroo. You're like Tarzan. You're all the people I just said.
So it's just a prodigy of Mike Tyson jumping.
Yeah, hopping at 43 miles an hour.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that. That's also another thing. I want to talk about this. Why does I want to say it was Logan Paul? Why does he think he can fight Mike Tyson?
He took up boxing as a hobby. That's really what it seems like to me. That's what I see. Is that I see that this man basically took up boxing as a hobby, and from what I feel like I've heard from other people that are boxers, it's kind of an addictive thing. When you are actually into it, And you kind of want that, like you want to like fight those people who are better than you, and like
Nothing in my entire body wants to step in the ring with Mike Tyson. Nothing. Before he did that match with I forgot who he did a match with. Before he did that match with the other guy.
Then you talking about the recent one, like where he's like older than he did. Yeah, no.
I saw a sparring video.
Dude, I mean,
Nope.
that is the compilation of raw talent and raw skill comboed with 40 plus years of training and experience. That's what that was.
There was nothing in my body.
Yeah, no, that's actually the real thing. It is clout. Clout is really the reason, because that's what Logan Paul is. Logan Paul is kind of a clout chaser.
If you get punched to death,
I think, right? Is it Logan Paul that's the boxer, or is it his brother? Because aren't there two of them?
Logan.
I think they both box. I don't know which one is the one.
Yeah, because now that I say Logan Paul, part of me feels like I'm wrong, and it might be the other one.
Or was it Jake?
It might be Jake.
Yeah, was it Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
It might be Jake.
I'm not in the know.
I feel like it was Logan. I feel like I kept seeing Logan's name everywhere.
Jake Paul was the one that knocked out Dave Robinson.
Okay, it is Jake. Okay, so I was wrong. Yeah. That's what I thought.
None of us know what we're talking about.
Don't. That's why I said don't quote me. Don't quote me. Yet. Unless it's funny.
Yeah, Jake Paul was the one to say he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Mike.
No, the funnier one that was because I saw that Conor McGregor put a response video out where he was like he literally maniacally laughed, like he is like you heard him like watching the video of like Logan be like blah blah, I got a long list of people on my list, blah blah this, and then he's like, you want to fight me? Fucking bring it. And I was like, oof, bro, you're about to get your ass. But I don't know. I don't know if Conor.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I can give Jake a 40% chance of winning.
No.
Like, here's the thing: is that like, because I've seen like pictures of him, and I mean, like, he is definitely fit. He definitely has been practicing. He has a legitimate trainer. He's a legit like. I think if anything too, because I had this kind of theory, like, because Logan Paul, like, he's young, isn't he? He's like got to be like 24, maybe if that, or something like that. Like maybe. Yeah, he might be like a little bit older than that, but like his whole career started off when he was a little younger. He was just like one of those YouTubers, and like he kind of made his beginnings of his career like that, and he made money. And what if he's bored now? Because I'm like we're regular people. Like, what if he's bored of finally doing that content? And he's also gotten a lot of hate throughout the years, so maybe he wants to do something where he can like channel some hatred for it. And fighting could be a way.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking you for that. You can fight Conor. I feel like that's not even bullshit.
You can fight Conor.
You can fight him. But like I feel like him not being able to use him not being able to kick you definitely puts him at like a halfway mark of his actual skills.
No, that is true. Because because Conor McGregor I think only has like one loss, or maybe if anything, like.
What as far as
his overall like career, because like.
But yeah, the only time I remember him losing is
to that
in a boxing match.
Yeah, to that boxing. That's what I was gonna say. I don't remember who it was because I'm not super into sports like that.
I think it might have been Floyd. Don't quote me on that.
Actually, no, that sounds right. Because it's it's funny enough. I don't like this stuff, but I remember watching that fight at Hooters because my two friends.
Because it was bum.
Because they bought like seats at Hooters to watch that game, and they were like, "Yo, do you want to come watch this fight with us? We have a whole table." And I was like, "I mean, I've never actually even seen a UFC fight, so yeah, sure, why not?"
But like, I don't know. You can fight Conor McGregor. You can fight some other people. I just don't think stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson is a wise decision. Because if you get caught in the corner, somebody has to explain to your brother why you died.
No one has to explain to him. He just is going to watch the VOD of him dying on stage. It's going to be Mike Tyson literally kills Logan Paul or Jake Paul in the ring, and it's like, oh.
Thinking about that,
he lost 4 times.
Thinking about that makes me scared.
Conor McGregor has lost 4 times. That's what I thought. It was a low number because I just remember like seeing something where it like showed like some of those famous boxers like, and like it showed like there was someone who had like it was like they had like 0 losses but like 55 wins or something like that in their whole career. And it was one of those boxers that's like retired now. Like it might not be Mike Tyson.
It's probably Mayweather.
Yeah, like.
But Mayweather, I don't know. To me, Mayweather, all he does is jump around until the other person gets tired. And then he hits him. Like, you're not boxing.
I mean, it's a strap, bro. Well, because that's one of the things I think that is about boxing. Is like it's all about stamina. It's all about because I don't. Even,
if you watch new boxing compared to old boxing, it is you can see the difference. You can see where the line of physical and mental endurance has changed compared to now. And honestly, I would personally like to see Mayweather against Tyson because Mayweather has the stamina to jump around and do all that shit, but Tyson ain't slow, bro. That nigga is not slow by any means necessary. It is scary to watch. It's like if you put Superman and the Flash together, and somebody's just like fight him.
I mean, like technically, right? Technically, that's all controversy that Superman is just as fast as the Flash. So in theory, you don't even need to fuse the two together, like because Superman is technically that fast.
Yes, but I feel like, and nobody ripped my head off this because I don't extensively read comics, but compared to how fast the Flash goes in an instance compared to how Superman has to build up the speed.
That's true. But this is what I was saying of like where like because I'm like one of the unpopular opinions. Like I feel like Superman's a little overrated in his powers and strength, and like one of his real villain in any instance is actually himself because it's like all about him controlling his godlike power amongst being among men, and like that's really why he can't like immediately go supersonic speed because he can, but he holds it back because he knows like if he does that he'll not only will he break the sound barrier, but he'll fucking probably hurt some people in the process, and that's what hinders him is like his thought and care for other people. But that's also his greatest strength too, because like he's a hero.
That brings me to I think that Batman actually has a superpower, and it's just his mental
stamina.
Endurance.
Yeah, like endurance or stamina. I could agree with that.
Like,
because that is one of the things. Like, that's what the whole tragedy of his parents dying in front of him at such a young age. That's what it built him up to be the Batman. It's like,
well, I don't even mean that, but just imagine going from my parents died, and I feel like I can do a lot more good in my city with the money that I have, to seeing aliens and have to fight all this shit.
Yeah.
And not like
snap.
Not like
freak
losing
out.
his shit.
And that's also the thing though too is because like obviously like Batman is depicted as like because like he is a smart dude, like he does know like some science things and business things, but it's like he also isn't fully diverse in knowledge, and that's where his billionaire status and his wealth come into play because it
lets him read up on shit and get the knowledge.
And he has the revenue that if maybe he doesn't have enough time to read it, he can find someone who can give him that information. Yeah, and or because also he has like he also runs Wayne Enterprises, which is literally full of all that advanced technology. So it's like really, it's just like he has some of it at his fingertips already, so it doesn't even have to go far.
But they do have a point. I've seen some people be like, "Yo, everybody else will catch the villain, like the robber or whatever, and put him in jail, and Batman will just whip his ass."
He does. It's literally like because he won't kill him, but it's like he'll beat their ass and then he kind of leaves them there, and then he's just like, "Don't forget."
You're going to jail
because he really does. He kind of leaves him with like that last moment of like, "Don't forget when I beat your ass."
But that's fucked up, though. You don't arrest aliens from another planet that came there to blow everybody up, but the nigga who's stealing
diamonds,
maybe maybe $80 from a goddamn convenience store to feed his family.
Dude, oh no, yeah, like
he gets both his legs broken.
Like classic Batman, actually, classic Batman, because like more modern day Batman, it is of course like he doesn't obviously beat up everyone, but it is like those more like I feel like he beats up like the muggers and like other things. He whips
everybody's ass. Everybody at least catches a boomerang, broken chin. You get up again, you get 3-piece.
No, because
come on.
No, because I feel like those are only the people who think they're hot enough shit to actually throw a punch at Batman. Because if not, because Batman does have a persona where it's like, you know, he's scary. It's like, I'm Batman.
But I've seen some people run away from him in like the series, and like he'll throw like one of those boomerangs and wrap their legs. They'll get out of it and keep trying to run away, and they still get 5-piece. I stole something with no weapon and I get 5-piece. Come on now.
Maybe that's one of the. I mean, that's one of the. That's kind of like a Batman persona. It's like because he is a hero, but it's like what type? Like he's not like a standard type of hero because like what he does is kind of wrong and kind of like dark. But it's like.
But let me ask you this: what does that sound like to you? What do all these scenarios sound like to you?
I don't know actually. They sound like Batman. I don't know. Like they sound like Batman doing vigilante stuff. Like
someone getting punished for not following the rules. The rules set in front of them by an authority figure of sorts.
Maybe a child, I guess. Like. I feel like children. That's the first thing that comes to my mind because like children, like usually like don't have a hard time listening to direction from those like that are above them and stuff like that. They're like just like little.
I was going a little deeper than that. You know how a lot of people say, if you just would have listened to the cops
and like done X, Y, or Z thing, then like everything would have been fine. It's like, but would it really? Would it really, Susan? Would it really have been fine?
Would it really, Karen?
Yeah, would it really have been fine? Or would have the same interaction still gone down?
Were you being very naively optimistic about the situation?
Yeah. That is fair, though. But, I mean, that is kind of... that because Batman always has a plan for everything. And that is something... Because Batman is pessimistic. He doesn't think everything is going to be happy because... Even with the Justice League and with himself, he has continuities in case of any major thing happens. Like, because he knows. Because in reality, like, that's fair. Of course, we don't want to think that. And the best case is that stuff doesn't happen. But what the reality is, we don't fucking know what the fucking future holds. We don't know if someone's gonna fucking snap and go on a murder spree. We don't know if someone is gonna turn into the best fucking human on the face of the earth. Like, we don't know. We just don't know. And because of us not knowing, like...
It's too many variables.
It is. And, like, that doesn't mean I feel like it's wrong to think of what if this stuff happens. But it's like, I do agree with the thought process that Batman has. It's better to have the thoughts in place and something aligned, so that way if it does happen, you're already ready. I mean, let's take our pandemic, for example. We had a whole board of people that, were supposed to help be the center of disease, like help the center of disease control, in case of issues like this. But, we didn't have them in a very crucial moment in time. But again, it was something that we apparently didn't know, which is also a different thing. Who knows what we actually didn't know?
But at the same time, since we're on this subject, why didn't we just shut down the whole country for 2 weeks?
Like every other country? It's a good fucking question.
Like every other country?
Like every other country? Like they did multiple times? Like, I don't know.
I just ask questions.
I mean, because, like, the economy or something like that,
You mean the economy that's still shitty?
I mean, like, technically it's not even shitty. Like actual statistics of, like, the stock market and other things. The stock market is up, like, 120%.
The stock market does not...
That's our economy, though. That's our economy. Like, that...
No, that is the economy of what they show the world. That is not our actual economy. If you go outside right now...
No, yeah, like No, but like in the ways of like it's not what we as regular individuals see, but like the stock market is like that is what if you were to look at like what is America economy looking like that's what you would see, like that's what you would think.
But what is America built off of? It was built off of what the people wanted.
Yeah,
and what their representatives.
Yeah, it was built off of it was supposed to be built off of like the idea of freedom, diversity, like the ability to do whatever you wanted to with the space that you have.
But that's what I'm getting at. Is like going off of that basic nature or that basic idea and concept. Our society's not doing shit. It's like you say statistically speaking it is.
Yeah, like statistically it is, but I mean that's like, also something like
statistics don't account for everyday changes, for anomalies, for people's feelings, for the everyday struggle.
That's one of the things though that is like just because you said like feelings, like because money doesn't have feelings, and that's the thing. Money doesn't.
And neither do numbers.
Yeah,
it's just
money is numbers, yeah. and that's where it's like when even like talking about like the mortality test now too, like pulling a little bit from that, like because those are like they're trying to find numerical data points, like they're trying to find those data points that they can create potential opinions off of to create emotion out of those fake numbers, even though there isn't really emotion because it's just data. It's just like basic like information.
Because you're giving them an either or question. You're not actually letting them talk into depth about it. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're taking the either or question and making an assumption by it.
Mm-hmm. And or you're trying to figure out what that 2-part question might be, like what is my if and or. But yeah, I wasn't super good at numbers. I've never been super good at math in general, but I always have wished like when I was in school, like statistics, like I took prop stat, and like I very much enjoyed that class, like because it was for me that felt like the type of math that like actually made sense because like I don't know, it just seemed more relatable maybe, and maybe it's because like.
Because you will use it in everyday everyday sense.
And maybe that's why like as like a kid it was more easier for me to potentially pick it up and understand it because instead of trying to think of like imaginary numbers and fictitious graphs of like plot points of information like that I didn't necessarily understand.
Well, I will say that sometimes you do need to use unnecessary graphs and plot points and circle pie charts and all that.
But I mean I also took chemistry and like literally half of my chemistry. Well, I took AP Chemistry. Like, half of my AP Chemistry time was literally studying different formulas because specifically there was different formula reactions for different type of, like, I forget actually what it's called. I didn't do too well in that class. I passed, but I didn't do great. But, it's like, the difference between, like, thermodynamics, like
I didn't even get that far, so...
like the other phase, like basically like I want to call it the other phases in science, like where you talk about different processes like of science in general. Like anyway, so to avoid talking about things I'm not very confident on anymore.
Hey, look, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just absorbing new information.
Got it. All right, listen, beautiful. That's what we like to hear.
It wasn't even anything like that.
On science was always one of my favorite subjects in school. One of my latest like things I like to do. I really like to listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Honestly, like I especially like it whenever he talks because he obviously talks about space and astrophysics and all that stuff. But I very much like it because it is very interesting. Because that's like it's almost like the opposite thing of what I just said. Because like in math. I got confused a lot by imaginary numbers and all those other things, but like what he talks about sometimes with like quantum physics and other things is like stuff in space that we can't physically go see, but we can potentially theorize it because we know of X factors that are close enough to us that we can observe, and because of that we can make an assumption about it. And it's like for some reason I understand, like I feel like more comfortable like when he talks about that stuff than like when I was like trying to learn about some math, like, a mathematical equation or like other things like that. But I really enjoy his talks about space and like our universe. It's really cool.
Well, that could probably be because you feel more comfortable with a more flexible what if than than a what if that only has three possible answers.
That's probably also true because I am a pretty open-minded individual. So like, I'm willing to humor or divulge in any type of like potentiality and see what what maybe it could be. So yeah, maybe that's true. So here's the thing. All right. So question 4. I just thought of this question. So what in your adult life have you thought about that makes you think back to like a school subject or something like that that now interests you in some variety or form? Like maybe it's not like interest in that you say like, oh, I'm trying to study it, but it's like it's something that maybe when you were younger you didn't necessarily care about or even like think about, but as you've gotten older outside of school, it's like one of those things that you now think of because maybe it pertains to your everyday life, or maybe it just pops in your head in your everyday life. For me, it would be like that, like our universe and space and like the difference between like math and science and stuff.
So, like, there's something that pertains to this question that I want to talk about, but there's also something that doesn't pertain to this question, but it reminded me of something when you said childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't want to say negotiation skills or anything like that. Like, I feel like some type of system with de-escalation should be implemented in schools, because I mean, of course, everybody says stop bullying this, stop bullying that, and I mean, really, how well does that get across? But like when I was younger, me and this guy used to. Well, we didn't used to, but we did it one day. We went to like the front of our neighborhood, and we stood in the corner. We had fake toy guns, but you could see the ends of them were orange. It wasn't like anybody could mistake them for real guns. But we were standing on the corner, and we were being dumb. We were pointing at cars, but somebody was being dumber than us and thought that they were real guns and called the police on us. So I don't know how long it took, but a police car showed up, started speeding around the corner, and like hit their brakes real hard and jumped out and like pointed a gun at us.
Oh God.
And so like, of course we dropped the guns because
y'all saw a real gun and that was
like look who
that's scary as shit.
What can I keep this in my hand for? But it was just like we were no older than like, I couldn't have been older than like 13, and he was younger than me, so
it was like definitely one of those things though. Like that was definitely probably like one of your very first real world interaction, because like if anything,
life or death wise, yes.
Yeah, like that's what I mean when I say like real world, because like when you think of the real world, you think of like I feel like you don't immediately think of the great things about life. You think about like some of the worst things, like the tragedies that happen in life that make life scary, like because that's like what's really scary.
But it change you.
Yeah, like violence, war, or like something that's like traumatic a little bit.
But it was just like he put us in handcuffs, but like when he did it, he dug his knee into our backs, and like I don't know, it was just wild that like that was they're like it's more of a bigger issue now, and I didn't see it as such back then.
Yeah, and I mean that it is. I mean, what a better day to be talking about it on in Martin Luther King Day than the day where he himself was fighting for like those same rights, like for not even just like specifically like police, like but like I was watching this thing and like it was like talking about I'm not good with names of musical artists, but Ice Cube's original group that he was a part of, where
NWA,
NWA, when they made "Fuck the Police," like I was watching a thing on Netflix and it was like talking about like they were like, oh, it was the history of swear words. I was watching that and that they brought that up like because the first episode was on the word fuck, and like fuck, they were saying like fuck has the most diversification in our language, and like especially like when they made the song "Fuck the Police," like it wasn't that they were saying like fuck the police, fuck the establishment. No, they were talking about those things that you're talking about, like the way, the abuse of what the police were doing, and like
how people were abusing their powers.
Yeah, and it talks a lot about like things that have been wrong in our country for so long, of like where like our entire country has been whitewashed into us believing that the whites fucking discovered everything in fucking America, when that's not true. There were people who were here well before us, and we just decided because we were fucking white and we just had a bigger number of a population, and we fucking took over, and we just said like everything that happened in history over here has been the great whites. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like honestly, like whites, in my opinion, I feel like we have the least amount of culture. Like we steal other people's shit, and then like we just say it's ours. Like, and it's like, you know, like it's just not good. There's just been there's a lot of things wrong with the world, and especially like right now, it's just not the best. But we are in a phase where but we are in a phase where it's like people are realizing that. Like we're in a phase where it's like the real reflection of what's been going wrong and things that we have been taking at a wrong value for so long are like actually coming to our eyes, and we're not being blinded by it or trying to push it aside.
But this is my thing, is like I feel like we still are pushing it aside because we've had years of examples that were like, hey, you did this shit once.
Yeah.
It didn't go over well.
Yeah. I mean, but that is a little bit of what we said, like kind of like, you know, the 1%, like kind of being too much and really like them kind of controlling our society a little bit, and it's like it's
But this is my thing. They're not physically trying to control our society. They're mentally doing it. And with that being said, I kind of mean that they're throwing out subliminal messages for us to think one way. But my thing is like you can somewhat see those, and if you're actively making the choice to agree with them, opposed to realizing that this shit's wrong with, I mean, are we really doing the best that we can?
I mean, that is fair. And I mean, that is specifically like the BLM movement that was going on. Like, that was kind of, I feel like that was one of the messages that they were definitely trying to get across, is that, like, listen, like, y'all have not been listening ever. Y'all say y'all have been listening and trying to change, but like y'all actually aren't. Y'all are just sugarcoating it, or like, you know, doing something where it's like. I also said to you, this is about politics.
Gaslighting.
Yes, that's the word. That's the word. They gaslight, and it's like they fuel the fire to make people have different, like, these opinions that are very like stressed and radical, like. Anyway, but what I was gonna say is, like, with like politics, like what I feel like happens a lot, because we were talking about like the stimulus bills and how, like, you know, like giving out X amount of money and stuff like that. But when you think about it, before the whole coronavirus pandemic, before we were even talking about trying to give people stimulus, there was I don't remember which side. I'm pretty sure Democrats were the ones that were pushing like that. There should be some type of like free basic income that people have access to, and it's like, they say like, oh, we can't get that money. That money doesn't exist. But then the second a pandemic exists, where apparently our entire economy is fucked, but somehow you're able to give every single American first $1,200, and you have $600 randomly out of the bank. And it's like, when literally 5 months prior they were saying like that is physically impossible, because when Bernie Sanders was running for president, like in the very early times, he talked about that. That was one of his standing points, was like free basic universal income for everyone. And like one of the Republicans' remarks to him was that that's stupid. That's crazy. We don't have that. Where is that money going to come from? We don't have that type of money.
So now the real question is, where is this money coming from?
Exactly. Where did all of our stimulus money come from? I didn't see anything change in our taxes. I didn't see any laws or anything like that went through. Like, so it's like, what? Like, it is odd. And that's one thing that I also wonder, like, the greater complexity of money within a society. How does that actually work?
This is my thing. Why the fuck do we live in a society where if I want this nice ass car, or I want the finer things in life, I have to have paper, actual paper?
Oh, that's kind of that's why Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin's going. That's why all like cryptocurrencies are kind of popping off.
Well, what happened to the barter system?
To the barter system? Well, I feel like what really happened, because I feel the same way, because I get the concept, like the basic concept of like how we print money, because like like some people are like, I don't understand, like how can we not just say that our money is worth valuable even if we print a lot of it? And of course, obviously, people use a basic example where it's like, if monkey have one banana, monkey valuable, banana rare. But if monkey are able to make banana are no longer valuable or rare. But is like, who deems that? We just deem it's like you deem that because there's a surplus, but like, does that? I feel like a surplus doesn't actually make it necessarily less valuable. Like, if it's specifically us, because we're Americans, we print our currency. We know that our currency has value. Maybe to another country they don't accept our currency, but I don't see why from us as equal Americans, like we can't look at each other and accept the same amount of money.
Well, pause. Let's go back there. You said it's equal Americans. That's not what we are.
Correct, sir. Or correct, actually, yeah. Damn, found me right in the middle of it.
And I don't even mean that on a race level. Just like,
I mean, it's on every type of level, like socially, like economically.
Socially is the biggest one. We treat people that are celebrities, that are actors, that are stars, that are directors, that are anything other than the average Joe job. We treat them as being better or being higher in just in the ladder of life, just because they do something that we don't. That doesn't.
And I've thought about this before, like, because I've thought about America on the granular scale, like in comparison to the world, and like I have said that I think that America is the entertainment. Like, we are literally the entertainment of the world. Like, obviously, that's not to say that every other country and culture doesn't have their own forms of entertainment, but like, if I were to say, like, what does every country...
We're the punchline.
Yes. We're the comedians, we're the movie stars, we're the everything that you, like, want to kick back and watch on the TV. Whereas, like, say, for, like, like, what is China? I personally, they're a tech giant. Like, like China, Japan, like, I feel like they specialize in, like, tech and other things like that. Like, Europe, I feel like, is more of, like, that in-between of, like, social economics and, like, business, because, like, a lot of things about Europe are very progressive, and they have a lot of things that are universally equal amongst a lot of people, because Europe and Canada, too, they're also in other countries that they have a lot of those things. Like, they're very close to getting to a spot where it's, like...
Europe is fashion. It's social and fashion.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of, like, what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's, like, they're at least working towards it.
They have a mix of everything.
Yes, and they're actively working towards it and trying to work towards it. Like, I feel like their government is actually trying to work towards it.
I heard that people get like a set amount of money based off of their like their relief plan.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna look to see how much it costs.
Go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. No, like that sounds great though. Like, no, like, but yeah, but that's my opinion of America, and like in a way, that's maybe not a bad thing. Like, it's not bad to be an entertainer because I feel like
it is when
it's a bad show.
When our leader can't pick the right times to be the comedian that he's supposed to be, or
really, like, I mean, like our leader, like honestly, our leader shouldn't be the comedian. Our leader should be the leader.
What I'm saying is he has room to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that he doesn't. He has room to be able to do that, but
he's
you can't
technically
always.
still a human.
Yeah, but you can't
unfortunately.
always be that. You can't. That's not your job. That's not your role. That's not what you. I'm pretty sure that's not what you envisioned when you signed up for this.
Right.
But
what do you know? You know, it's like
but some of y'all go with that, man. That's how we got here.
You know, but here we are. You know, hoping to get it. You know, but I have a different man. And I want you to know that I've thought about what they've said from the Free Paris Agreement, which is like our it's like the global warming. It's like the one at the UN where like every single country in the world has talked about like the climate crisis that is happening. And I feel like they said something like in the thing, it's basically like 2035 is like that's where we're like, oh fuck, we are screwed, like we cannot fix it anymore.
Like is that our 2012?
Yeah, like it's like
shit.
And like there's some scientists, I don't remember the scientists, like, but they're like the people who are like the main like scientists that express like that the Earth is going to get fucked up, and it's like by 2035 like we can expect like that the Earth will have a like 2% temperature differential. Now that might not sound like a lot, but like 2% is a lot. Like, what happens when you change your thermostat from 69 to 71 degrees in your house? It gets fucking hot. Now, imagine that on the whole fucking Earth. And then also imagine, like, the ice caps have already been melting. Now imagine, like...
That's my only issue.
Yeah.
I do not want to have to try and find a submarine to live through a tsunami. That's not what I'm going for.
And, like, also the thing, though, is that, like, because I'm pretty sure, like, because the Earth is its own, like, system of equilibrium, so it's, like, that's why the other ice ages, why the other ice ages happened in the past. It's because, like, Earth experienced, like, times of rapid temperature increase, and it got to a point where, like, the way that Earth, like, fixed itself is it fucking it basically went under an entire ice age where, like, temperatures dropped radically, and, yeah, half our planet was covered in fucking ice for a little bit.
Just think about that. Just let that sink in. If you wake up the next day in the next 10 years, and there's just a big tidal wave of water, like what are you supposed to do?
Pray in your last few moments. I feel like in my last, honest to God, if I'm gonna be dead honest, if I was sitting in this chair, because most likely I could be, and I looked out that window and I saw a tidal wave coming, honest to God, I think I'd probably take a bong rip, and then I think I'd probably go kiss Stephanie, and then hopefully by that point, the water would take us and I'd die in peace. And if not that, maybe by some magical miracle, I fucking live, and I wash up somewhere where fucking civilization is able to still live. Because, there will obviously, if the whole world were to flood, there would obviously be a couple of spots where, that would be above water, and, that would be, the new norm.
You gotta think about it. Bro. Like you said, the ice caps are melting. So, for all that water to melt and sit in one place, and then to just randomly fucking whoosh up.
But that's not how sea level rise works. It's gradual.
No. So, crazy fact. I learned this.
If there is something that causes the wave
Guys,
to push that high. I'm not saying if it naturally happens.
I want you to know, I saw this thing. I'm pretty sure I saw it from Bill Nye the Science Guy. Do you know why the tides actually rise and fall? And it's not because of the moon. Well, it is because of the moon, but what it is, so there's our Earth, right? And then around our Earth is like a bubble. It's the water. So what happens is as the moon and we are rotating around the sun because there's other gravity forces in the thing, the water is getting shifted to each side. So that's why there's waves. That's why there's currents and things. So the water doesn't actually move. It's literally, our Earth is essentially just like kind of rotating, and then like that water is just kind of getting pulled with the gravity of the moon and or the other like things around us. Because like, you know, the basic example of like how they explain gravity, it's like if you have a tissue paper, you put a marble on it, like it's gravitational field. That's essentially what's happening. And like it, like, I don't know, like that's crazy. I never learned that shit in science class. Like it really, and when I think about science class, when I think about science class, like they never actually said like this is how like the waves happen. They just say like,
because they don't go in depth.
Yeah, they're like, this is the sea level. This is the Mariana Trench. Now make me a model of the Mariana Trench right now. Name me 3 creatures you can find in the fucking sea.
Yoda. There you go.
It's like, yo ass, after I throw you off the boat. It's like, no. That's vodka.
You have soda.
Yeah, but I'm thirsty.
It's crazy that old girl switch, right? It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Look at that. What a thought.
I got one last question.
One last question.
And it's not even a question. It's a statement. I've noticed that there are times where females don't want something unless their boyfriend has it.
Is this what we're doing?
Yeah, I feel like that's without a doubt correct. And also, I'd like to say, maybe not, I feel like you don't even have to specify it to just the female to male. I feel like you just say a significant other to another.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have felt this feeling before as well, but I've also had the feeling dropped upon me plenty of times. What I think it is, it's like one of those things where it's like, it's the same reason why any sandwich you've ever had cooked for you or made for you tastes 1,000 times better than any sandwich you've ever made yourself.
I don't know about that one, Coach.
Oh.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, really? You say no to that?
I don't know about that one.
No, let me tell you, I definitely, in my own opinion, I think I can cook. And, like, I love sandwiches. I love making myself breakfast sandwiches and regular sandwiches. But, like, I feel like it's always better to have someone serve me. That's why I like to go to brunch every Monday. Because, like, I cook people brunch all the time. So, what do I want to do? I want someone to cook.
Okay, so therefore the reason it tastes different to you is because it's not the sandwich. It's the chemical rush that you get.
It's the vibe. It's the vibe of it.
So
it straight up is. I won't deny that. That is a total fact. But I do feel like that can still carry over, and I feel like that's why people like going out to restaurants, and like that's why like the convenient factor of restaurants is so like big and kind of like cool. Like that's why people like it. It's why it's the innovative thing to do.
But see, and the reason I don't feel that way is because like when I go to Wawa, and this is nothing on anybody at Wawa. This is just a me thing.
It's just your opinion on
it. If I get a quesadilla and I get like sometimes I throw pickles on, and that tastes good. That tastes good to me. But like when they make it, it's like they put everything in the middle of where the quesadilla would be, and it's not thoroughly spread out. And when I made my quesadillas when I was at Wawa, I had the opportunity to spread everything out
and like actually make it like.
So when I bit into it, I got a taste of literally everything that I had spread out. I had the pickles cut up to be spread out. I had the bacon ripped apart instead of just being thrown in there. The meat was spread out equally.
And see, but like that's like, I feel like that's also one of the things like, one of the things that's bad about like, convenience of food is like, every company is trying to get the freshest quality, the best. Like you just made this at your home, but it's like you bought it at this store for like really fast and really cheap. And that's the problem with it is that like, because what you're saying, like that would be like someone actually taking a moment to like their job is like to cook you and like they like actually like took a second to like make like put your meal together, not just like fucking slap your shit together because they're like, oh fucking.
But what I'm saying is even if you go to a restaurant, you still don't get the same thing because it's like they have a specific way that they have to cook it. Mm-hmm. And they can make certain modifications and stuff like that, but it still wouldn't be the same as if you wanted it cooked the way
that is true.
You had it in your mind. It's like when you're trying to execute a plan and you have it specifically set up that goes somewhere in your mind.
And that shit obviously goes the complete wrong fucking way. Completely wrong. You're right. Okay, no, yeah, that's a really good example to kind of help come that full circle.
I think the places that do it the best are probably any of the restaurants that cook in front of you.
Like Chipotle. Like Chipotle, I feel like is one. And that's a little biased for me because I worked there for so long.
I was going to say like one of those steak places where like they have the grill in front of you because you actually still get to interact with.
Dude, my mouth started watering the second you said that, dude. Oh my god. Oh, that sounds so good, actually.
Well, unfortunately, it is like.
Yeah, it's too damn late at clock.
It's 11:00 goddamn clock, and I don't think you can get that right now.
No, but it's alright. We don't ever need it right now. Oh, okay. So here's a question I wanted to ask because I've actually thought about this question for myself.
Oh,
so the question is, out of the 7 deadly sins, like the 7 basic sins that there are that you can technically go to hell for. If you had to choose, like say like if you died right now, you ended up in hell. What do you think is the sin that you would go to?
Lust. Yes.
Like without a doubt, like that. Yes, that was off the top. That was like quick.
Because I wanted to make sure you finished the question first.
Yeah, you're like I already know.
Because as soon as like you know the 7 sins, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's lust. Yeah. If the question is going, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going with that.
For me, I said gluttony, and obviously like for me like because I told someone this and their defense to me is like gluttony is like when you're obsessive about it, but I don't think it's just like obsessive like where you're like you're just fat and you're indulging. No, what I think it is like it's
like wanting more of the abundance of something.
It's the abundance. It's the want to specifically do that, and like because like specifically like with like food and other things like that. I think gluttony goes along with food most often.
Yeah.
But like I might not be like super fat or like want like this big meal, but like no, like I want that whole etiquette of like a meal. Like I want it. I want that. Like I crave that. That's why I go out and I do go out to restaurants and stuff like that. And I try new restaurants because I love that experience of food and stuff like that. And I love trying that food and being like, oh my god, this food is so amazing. Like what in the fuck?
It's still wanting more of it.
Exactly, and being like, I can't wait till I get to come back here again. Like, and I feel like that's gluttonous. Like, even if it's not that harsh, and like, some people might say like, Anthony, you're being harsh on yourself. You're just like enjoying good food, but that's exactly it. Like, gluttony is the indulgence of something. It's the overindulgence of something, and like, I feel like that's one of those things. Like, maybe that's just me thinking of it extremely, but that is kind of the thought process. That's the thought that came in my head of like, if there was a sin that you would really go for, you would like, basically be attached to, what sin would that really be? And that's what I think it's mine. That, it's one of my newer questions that I kind of want to ask the people, because like, I swear I thought of this like last week maybe. Like this is a very recent thought. It started because I was at brunch and I was like, I'm a fucking whore for brunch, bro. I really am. Like, you could ask me at any time of the day. They do. Like, you could ask me any time of the day and it'd be like, Anthony, what do you want to eat right now? Bro, I would love to eat some fucking eggs and bacon right now, bro. nice waffle, nice pancake. Give me that brunch, bro. Yeah, I mean, lust is pretty self-explanatory, like, of what it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
You don't want to laugh?
No.
I mean, like, lust is pretty self-explanatory. Mine, I feel like I had to explain because, like, I'm not actually fat. Like, I feel like if I was fat, that would be way easier to directly correlate to, because you'd be like, oh yeah, I bet you do like gluttony.
But even then, you still could be gluttonous for something else.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, like
be food.
It could be like those people who like are addicted, like, you know, like those adrenaline junkies who are addicted to like the next like crazy thing that they get to do and stuff like that. Like, could you technically in some form call that gluttony, or
Like
even
cokeheads?
Yeah, or even could you even call that lust? Maybe, like, could it be something like, because lust is about love and like excitement, and like what if that's something like maybe it could fall under both, you know? But it's like, I don't know.
I mean, you basically know the bottom line as far as lust, but I mean, you can lust over other things like.
Yeah, no, the actual definition of lust literally has the word sexual in it. I had to double check. I was like,
Can't say anything.
It would be me.
What?
We're both boys. Is that? It's just someone else who's watching it.
Oh, Hubbard. I can't read their name.
It says Smacks Active 2. Smacks Active 2. Yeah, Smacks Active 2 asks, hi, who's streaming, the boy or girl? The girl is in the back. She's playing Pokemon still.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's playing Pokemon right now.
Your new nickname is Smack.
Oh, what?
I don't want to say the whole thing, so
Smack that ass.
No, just Smack.
It's Smack Active 2.
Should I wait? No, I'm
Smiling wave, boys. Smiling wave. Dude, that's one of those, Madagascar. What a...
Yo, that is what that's from!
Yeah, it's from the penguins from Madagascar.
Yo, thank you. I forgot. I haven't seen Madagascar since it first came out. How long ago was that?
These niggas have their own sideshow.
I don't give a fuck about the sideshow.
Nice. I like that show.
Never seen it.
Don't
want to see it.
No, you should. It's actually funny. It's actually kind of funny. They also have a holiday special.
I'll pass.
Madagascar has like
no, I don't know.
Personally,
so long.
I loved Madagascar growing up. Personally,
I only like the first one. I ain't even gonna say.
Yo, I forgot there was more than one. See, I don't see.
Four to be exact.
I may have saw like 2.
I want you to know the fourth one is like.
It's probably.
Anyway, but they specifically have the song "Baby," it's fireworks, like "Baby, you're a fun." Yeah, that song. I want you to know, every time that song plays, I literally see the last scene of the movie, because that's the scene that's the song they play to. It's like, you know, everyone like doing all this stuff and because it's like their circuit in that one. It's like they get a part of a traveling circus, and one of the there's a lion in there that's like he's not related to the actual to Manny, but he's just like he relates like him and Manny like relate a lot to each other and stuff like that, because like the main line was like the main circus show dude, and like he had a bad accident and basically like he failed.
He did do the same.
Yeah, and he just didn't feel the same after that, and like it was like Marty and Manny both showed him like, you know, kind of like how to live with your mistakes and kind of go on from it, and then like eventually he redoes the same stunt and he does it this time. I think it's either he does it or wait
explains the plot.
Wait, or does Manny? I'm trying to think. Or does Manny do it instead? You know, I actually haven't seen Madagascar 4 in quite a while. I just mainly remember the ending scene where they're all dancing to the song.
Talking about ending scenes of movies, post credits for Chicken Little. Still top tier.
Is that where? Isn't it? Is that one of the ones where like they just do like blooper? Like it's like bloopers, but it's
No, that's the one where like they start singing and dancing. God tier. God tier type stuff.
I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen
God tier type stuff.
I don't remember these things.
I don't
Watch
remember
past the
either.
credits.
Oh.
Wait just a little longer.
I feel like I always waited for post credit scenes on things, like even if it like outside of Marvel shit too, like because sometimes there would just be like that last little Easter egg right at the end of it just to sum it up.
Speaking of Marvel stuff, what do you think happened at the end of New Mutants? If you've seen it, if you have not seen it,
Of New Mutants, I don't think I actually got a chance to watch that
Okay.
one. But that was the live action one that they had.
that was the X-Men one that came out in theaters.
Oh yes, no, I definitely
Okay.
didn't see the ending of that.
Okay,
Um,
we'll talk about that different time.
That's definitely one of those things. Did you ever watch Marvel Runaways on Netflix?
I heard that was terrible.
I heard hit or miss things.
I
didn't
feel
really
like
watch it.
I binge watched it, so like it took me a second because I had to go back and like relook at like what kind of happened across certain episodes, but because like I binge watched literally like a whole season and a half in like almost like a whole fucking day, or like two. Like I get crazy sometimes when I binge watch shows if I like.
I mean, but look, you're stuck in the house.
Yeah, especially like at the beginning. Yeah, I was stuck in a house. We were all stuck in a house. But I feel like Marvel Runaways, the first season was kind of good. But what I feel like they lacked in is like I feel like they didn't actually envelop on. They're not actually any. There's no like superpowers or anything. Like they don't envelop on any of that at all. Like
it's like they show it twice and then it's just
like yeah, like they show it like once or twice because like the whole beginning intro is about like. So it's like you see the main character's parents, all of their parents, and they're clearly like they're all pretty wealthy. Like they're well off, and they're in some way connected to their community. Like they all have a job that like is something big. Like one of them is like a judge. The other one is like a news like a reporter or a news something or other like that. And like there's a couple other different jobs amongst people, and it shows them in like basically like a cult like thing, and basically what's going on is like people are going missing in their town and have been for like a while, and it's like random mystery murders and no one knows why. The whole concept of it is like that the scene starts off like the parents are in the scene, they're like this has to be the last one, blah blah, like we can't do this again, and like they offer up some kid, and like the kid was like I kind of forget the exact importance to the kids. But basically, the kids find, like, oh, that's what it is. Because the one kid, he stumbles upon them when they're, like, in the ritual. Like, because it's like they show the opening scene as, like, them doing the ritual, and then, like, they, like, cut away. And then they just kind of go into the regular story, like, don't really talk about it. But at the end of the episode, like, you kind of see it's, like, the kids were, like, walking around, like, all together doing this stuff because, like, all of their parents met at this one person's house, like, they all kind of know each other already. Yeah. And, like, they're just fucking around doing kid shit, and they find, like, literally, like, the secret entrance in the parents' house to this place where the parents are gathering for whatever this weird sacrifice is.
And they see a little bit of it.
And the parents don't know it's the kids, so they think someone found out or something like that, and they're terrified because, like, their whole livelihoods are at stake because, like, they're regular, everyday people. Like, they think that...
Like a superhero or somebody found out.
Like, and they think that, like, someone just watched them commit a murder, like a cult murder. But really, it's their children. But then their children go crazy because, like, they think that their parents are the fucking bad guys, so they run away. Quote the name.
He said it.
He said it. He said it.
But clearly, they are just...
Yeah, but so, like, the thing that it gets into it, right, is so, like, really what it is, so it's like what I feel like is the actual main character. He's a young nerdy black kid. He's actually the house. His parents is the house where everything happens.
Of course it is.
That's why I feel like he's like the main character personally because like it happened at his house. Like that's the main character. There's a girl that is like the daughter of an alien, and she's kind of like a Starfire, sort of. But she's not even close to Starfire. I only want to say that because, like, she's like they get into it, but, like, basically the species of alien that they're, like, light. They're literally light. Like, they are energy. And, like, that's ultimately why the parents were sacrificing is, lo and behold, the actual bad guy was this girl's father. But, again, they don't envelop on that till the last fucking episode.
I ain't rough enough for this.
It might not even be the last episode.
You're explaining, like, the premise of Teen Titans.
No, and that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like they were trying to go for, like, Teen Titans because there was that, and then there was a girl who, like, basically her parents had a legitimate dinosaur that they, like, Jurassic Park type of shit, like, they recreated a biological dinosaur from DNA that they have, like, one of them is, like, a fucking paleontologist, the other one is, like, some like really smart science engineer or something like that.
Clearly,
okay, so it's like that's 3 of the people, right? And then there's this one girl, and like her mom has this like it's like an old family like heirloom or whatever, but it's like a weird staff, but it's like magic, quote, but it's not magic. The mom eventually explains it to her that it's not magic, it's science. But it's like such advanced science that it seems like magic. Like, and then there's like
that bitch sounds like horseshit.
Correct. No, but it's no. But the reason why it's because it's alien technology, and that's why it seems like magic. It's because it's so advanced that like humans aren't even close.
I'm calling bullshit. That bitch is just magical and don't want to admit it. I almost want to go watch it just to disprove that these people deserve to be in Marvel.
I'm crying. And then I'm trying to remember.
King Ramsey?
No, Ramsey from Game of Thrones.
I ain't watching it.
But yeah, there's one other kid that I'm missing, but like essentially, like yeah, like those are the basic. Like I feel like they covered like the basic kind of things because like the dinosaur and that girl, they kind of cover Beast Boy. The really smart kid kind of covers Robin because like he is a very Robin-esque. He even has a Robin kind of complex where like he's overly arrogant about his leadership and like the fact that people won't listen to him even though like they know that he's right and stuff like that. There's Starfire, I already explained to her. There's Raven, the fucking she's also a goth emo girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Who am I missing? Is that everyone?
Cyborg. Some other person.
Yeah, the other person that was Cyborg, and I'm trying to remember who, because I feel like there was a 5th person. Maybe it was just like a general, like jock, like a jock type of person.
I feel like that's, if Robin and Cyborg were confused, it would be a jock, in my opinion.
This is my last question.
You just said that.
It's kind of 2-part. Have you watched Vinland Saga?
Wait. I feel like
it's only on Amazon.
No, I feel like Gage and I feel like Gage. Is it about a dude who literally is like the reincarnation of Billy Golder or something like that, and like he's like super powerful and something like that, and like
Who the fuck is Billy Golder?
I didn't even say the name right. I can't remember what his name was, but what was the premise of this that you were telling me? What is it?
It's called Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga, yes.
Like pretty much, they start off by showing you the middle-aged part of this guy Thor's about his life, and they show like pretty much he was like one of the best fighters that the Vikings had.
Okay.
And he was fighting somebody and he killed the guy. He looked around, and he saw like all these bodies drowning, all these weapons drowning, like ships drowning. And he was like, "That's not how I want to die." And he pretty much runs away from the war to go raise his family, his wife, and shit like that. And you fast forward some years, he had like 3 kids, and one of his old buddies wants him said that the king sent that guy to come get Thor's and be like, "Hey, the king is asking that you come back and fight with us."
Basically, like, we need help one last time.
Well, they don't need help, but they want him to fight back, like fight again with him because they don't want him as an enemy. Like he's
kind of like he's don't be on our bad side, please.
Well, that's not. They really wanted him on his side.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I don't do that anymore." But the dude showed up with a bunch of like soldiers. He was like, "Well, if you don't do this, then kill everybody in the village."
And he's like,
"Well, I guess I gotta go." And then
Macy wasn't like, "Well, I guess I gotta kill all y'all."
Well, he wouldn't have made it in time. Like he wouldn't have been able. He was more worried about the people in the village than he was.
That is fair though.
So
that's a true hero right there.
So like pretty much. Well, spoiler for anybody watching this, because fuck it, you know this enough.
I kind of gave a spoiler for Marvel Runaways, but that's been out for quite a while.
I mean, Vinland Saga has been out. But pretty much, he says he's gonna fight with them, but then all the like young boys in his village want to fight with Thor's, and his son Thorfinn wants to fight with him. And Leif Erikson is also there. And they get ready to sail out, and Leif Erikson's like, you can't let all these kids go with you and die. Like they can't fight the same fight as you did. And he's like, I'm not. We're gonna drop them off where you stay at, and I'm gonna go fight. And so they go to execute this plan, and they get to Leif Erikson's place, and pretty much pirates have pretty much killed everybody in his place, and they ambush Thor's in them. And so Thor's is like, also Thor's finds out that his son Thorfinn jumped on board without his knowledge, so he's there too. But he's like, they get ambushed. Thor's is like, well, everybody sit back here. I'll go take care of him. He literally jumps from like. So imagine, yeah, that's the boat that they're at. He literally jumps from their boat to here. Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. Like, we're just trying to go. And everybody that runs at him, he literally just punches them, and they get knocked out.
Damn. No. Yikes. That's crazy. But, like, the anime that I was referring to that my friend Gage showed me, it was, like, essentially the dude, like, the universe involved magic. Like, magic was a core thing. It was, like, a part of their everyday life, and, like, everyone could use it and learn how to do it. And it was all about, like, your spell. Like, you know, like, your spell, it was, like, Doctor Strange kind of deal where it was, like, this, like, big circle thing. But it's like, that was your spell, and, like, those lines were, like, the magic flowing through the universe that, like, helped create those spells. It was, like, the words and such things.
Okay.
Basically, there was, like, it's like there's humans and demons. And there was the king of the demons, and he's, like, one of the first people who, like, wrote all the magic in the world. Like, the demons were the ones that were able to use magic. Humans only learned how to use it from them, etc. Basically, he was, like, the baddest bitch ever.
Yeah.
The whole plot line is essentially, like, there's him, and then there's, like, the human hero. And it's, like, one of the first episodes that they show you is that, like, basically, like, the demon king, is talking with the hero, and because it's, like, obviously, like, a big war. Like, the humans are going to find the demons, and, like, essentially the hero's asking for peace, and the demon king is, like, is that actually what you want? He's, like, think about it, and, like, you know, one of the humans that's next to him gets all mad. He's like, blah, blah, you've killed so many of our humans, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he's like, yes, I have. He's like, but only because y'all have come into my borders. How many of my demons have you killed as well? He's like, you do not come here seeking peace. You come here seeking, basically like triumph over him. Like he's like, you won't stop. He's like, you won't stop as long as I live. And it's because,
top dog.
yeah, and it's because like he is powerful. Like he is like that fucking powerful. Like he.
But if he never bothered anybody,
yeah,
why the fuck would you go over there?
Exactly. But so like what he offers to the hero, is he basically is like, I can do this thing like, like you can kill me, but like it'll take me about like 2,000 years to like regenerate my whole body. Like like because he's like technically saying he's immortal, but like even with his great destructive power, like it takes him time to recollect all that energy.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what he does. So it's like you'll get 2,000 years where I'm not here, and it's like y'all can just peace quote can be in the reigns, because it's like his thought was, if there's no demon king, there's no war to fight. So like if the hero killed the demon, then hey, everyone should be happy on the human side and everyone should be okay. So that's what he did, and then he gets reborn, and essentially like the whole show is like him basically trying to prove to everyone that he is the reincarnation of the Demon King, because like in the demon realm they've been waiting for him to be reincarnated, and they have like altitude tests that like basically try and see like if you are him, and like obviously like no one's ever passed it because no one is him yet, but like it's basically like big dick syndrome, like it really is though.
No, I'm just
like the whole
that.
anime is basically like, I got a bigger dick than you, bro. Like you are not gonna beat me. Like because he's in a tournament, and the first fucking dude that faces him, right, talking all this hot shit, mind you. Like there was a scene like right before they actually got in there where it was like the preliminaries, like where they were like setting up all the tournament names and stuff like that, who was gonna fight who, and like this one dude was like talking shit, and the dude fucking like fucked him up. Like, or he didn't even, he literally told him, he's like, I'm gonna beat you without moving a single fucking muscle. He's like, I won't move anything. And like, he literally was standing there, and the dude was like, he went to go hit him, and like, he got knocked back, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, and like, after a couple seconds, he's like, can you hear it now? He's like, do you hear the sound of my heartbeat? He fucking made this man, he blew this man up with the sound of his, like he made him explode, like,
I'm going home.
And so basically the first guy he fights is like that dude's like brother or companion, something like that. Like it's someone he knows. He's like, you're gonna fucking pay.
He's dead.
And it's like he literally like what he does is he does this, like he literally gets up and like he's like fighting him a little bit, and like he the dude like falls on his ass. He literally gets in front of him, and he's like, he says something about like death, and he's like, let's see if you keep that tenaciousness after you die a couple of times. And he snaps his fingers and vaporizes him, and then immediately like casts a spell and like basically like casts a spell, and like a drop of blood drops, and he like reincarnates and animates himself. And like the dude is like terrified because he saw the afterlife, like he did die, and like the devil, like, he's like, was like, blah, blah, blah. And like, he's like, what the fuck kind of magic was that? He's like, oh, that wasn't magic. You died. And I brought you back. And like, he explains, like, he's like, basically, like, if it, like, this spell will always be able to bring you back as long as I bring you back within a minute of you dying. It's like, which I will. I promise you I will. He's like, but then he was just talking about, like, the metaphorical factor. He's like, how willing are you to keep up, like, your tenacious attitude towards me? Like, how many times of you dying will it take? And he's like, are you even the same person if I reincarnated you? Or are you simply just a new body with all the memories placed inside of you? And he just literally, like, just kept doing it. Snap, 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 snap. And then eventually he was like, stop, stop. And he was like, he said it, he was like, wow, 16 times. That's more than most people have ever gotten. And I'm like, but that's essentially the whole show. The whole show is him just big dicking the fuck out of every fucking person.
Let him have it.
Like, but it's like, he's a high school student.
So it's One Punch Man.
Yeah, it's literally the same concept as One Punch Man. Because One Punch Man is also big dick syndrome, like, except like... Well, One Punch Man is not big dick syndrome, it's more like, I'm bored with my power, what do I do? No one can beat me.
But he at least tries to live like a normal life.
Yeah, that is true. like in this one, like I actually remember talking to Gage and being like, I don't understand. Well, why is he go to school? Why is he going to this academy? Like he literally, because like he is the Demon King. Like what is he? Yeah, literally, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, he must just be bored. That he's like, I mean, I already was like an evil conqueror and killed all these people. Like, what's it like just being a regular teenager? Just waking up, going to class,
What these niggas
learning about some magic that I wrote, so I already know the answers.
I wonder what these niggas feel like.
Yeah, that's that's funny. Anime's crazy. It's also crazy that we've been talking now for a whole 2 hours and 30 minutes. And that's
2 hours.
I know, right? Almost 3. That's some good talk. I was actually a little worried that like, man, what if like me and Daveon have a lot of like pause moments where the thought hasn't continued or the conversation is kept rolling. But I feel like we did pretty well. I feel like we kept everything going there. I feel like for the most part it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a couple like weird transitions in there. And,
weird transitions make the conversation.
It is though. It is always. Thank you for allowing me to actually record us talking. It's beautiful. It's also beautiful to see you because I haven't seen you in forever. In general, you are one of my best friends, and it's just great to have you on. Until then, to all of you guys that were watching, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to be taking a little break for a second. I am going to be hopping on in a little bit to potentially play some games, stream some Valorant. I'm pretty sure you have your own Twitch. What is your name on Twitch?
It's Angry Ditto.
Angry Ditto. Yes, please follow Daveon on Twitch. Angry Ditto is his Twitch tag. Also, if you liked any of the talks we talked about today, give me a follow. So you can hear some more. I plan to hopefully be uploading this to YouTube at some point. The YouTube name is also Doe369, so you can easily find it there as well. And until then, stay frosty, everyone. It was beautiful having you all.
Peace.